Well, it has been a stunning season in the GPVWC Super League. We've had 17 rounds of brilliance in the field throughout, and while it is a shame it has to come to an end tonight at Abu Dhabi, but we've still got championships to fight for, races to run, and one more round of the clock for the 2017 season before all thoughts go towards next year. Josh Radisson on lead commentary for this one, and I'm joined for the end of the season by another Josh. Actually, it's all Josh-tastic in the comments box tonight because we've got Joshua Jones alongside me. Great to have you with us, Josh, and well, last round of the championship, this is really one that everyone's going to be looking forward to.
Absolutely, and me especially. I mean, I've done the two other career ladder races this week with Formula Challenge and Super Cup as well. We had absolute fairy tale finales in both of those, with absolute shock results, shock races, battling right until the end, literally final lap attacks for the podium positions. And if Super League is anything like the other two, we should be in for an absolute championship finale. Of course, the championship itself has already been wrapped up, but we still have a lot to play for, as you said.
Yeah, of course, we know that Rudy Van Buren is our driver's champion, but he's not here this race. He's off doing the McLaren's World's Fastest Gamer competition, and obviously we at GPVWC wish Rudy the very best of luck in that. In his place is test reserve driver for Vodbull Tom Parker, who I'm sure a lot of you are already very familiar with. One of the stalwarts of GPVWC, really a top driver in his own right, and well, maybe going to contend for the win that he's not yet had in Super League. He's done many races, but luck has never been on his side. Maybe tonight is the night where he breaks the duck, and of course he can't win the Drivers' Championship, but Vodbull Motorsports could win the Constructors. They're a fair way ahead of Norwegian Racing in the championship coming into this round, and well, to be fair, anything more than 28 points, they are behind Norwegian. Norwegian need to score 28 or more than Vodbull this race to overhaul them. 27 will not do. That will give the Vodbull team the championship, the very first Constructors' Championship in Super League as well. Obviously joining in 2015 and, well, running riot ever since. They really have been the dominant force in recent years, and taking the Constructors would be the logical conclusion. But you never know, Norwegian Racing could put up a fight.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, Tom Parker's just gone third in the session, and for someone who hasn't done much Super League racing at all this year, that's actually quite impressive. Only a 10th off Florian Gaia, who is currently in pole in this qualifying session with a 140.485. So Tom Parker definitely taking the fight to the Nordjylland driver at the moment. Of course, separating them is Jarl Tyen in second, and that makes it Gaia, Tyen, Parker, Fidot, Cooper for the top 5.
It does, yes, and well, you say Tom Parker hasn't had much experience, not in race scenarios, no, but he has obviously been the test driver for the season. He's been taking part in all the test sessions and getting the R&D points for Vodbull, so he knows that car like the back of his hand anyway, but it's now time to see if he can apply it in a race scenario in the 2017 GPVWC Super League season. Of course, as we said, he's had so much experience before and came so close to the win on so many occasions, but he's never quite got it. Maybe this time he will, we don't know for sure though. But we still have about 3 minutes and 52 seconds in this qualifying session. As you rightly say, Florian Gaia on pole at the moment from Jarl Tyen, from Tom Parker. And it'll be this point in the session where the drivers just start to line up the final couple of qualifying laps and have a couple more cracks of the whip and see if anyone can overhaul Gaia for that pole position. Of course, we know that Florian Gaia won't be in Norwegian Racing next season. Recently announced that he is parting ways with the team after 2017. Whether he'll be in Super League next year, we don't know, but it will be past as new for the German, whatever he chooses.
Yes, absolutely, and it would be absolutely fantastic for him if he could round off his time with Nordjylland in the Super League with a good result. Of course, he's on pole at the moment, but we still have 3 minutes to go in the session, so that could change. Although a pole position for him here would certainly be very, very good. Also, another team I believe is a team rather that I believe is leaving the Super League is Kernau, and Bruce Superneck is currently in 7th place in this session. So not bad so far from the top Kernau driver on the team's final race in Super League.
Yeah, it will be a big shame to see Kurnow Sport go, one of the stalwarts of the series again. They've been here for so long, and they've always been the one where you kind of want to cheer for them wherever they are. You know, they've always been the loved by everyone sort of team, and it is going to be a massive shame when the Cornish outfit do leave the Super League, and they will be sorely missed, of course. One of the inaugural engine suppliers when the system came in back in 2013 as well. They dropped that into, it was actually Bob Bull and Valiant who picked it up, and it's kind of come full circle because now they are customer Valiant engines running. So, you know, it's come full circle in that sense. Supplying engines out there, the customer, the people who took the tender over. But it will be a massive shame to see Kurnow Sport go. Obviously, Mark Wicks as a driver and, well, as a fan of GPV, he'll still be around, but his team less so in 2018. And, well, whoever fills their shoes will have some very, very big shoes to fill. That much is for certain.
Absolutely. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say a team with a lot of success in the past, so a lot of work will have to be done by anyone who does replace them. But we are coming around to the critical moment now in this session where it'll be the last lap for anyone starting one now, and otherwise it'll be, well, maybe 2 laps to go for some drivers. But yeah, Gaia is not being deposed at the top of the timesheet so far, but he's only 600ths ahead of Jarl Tyen, who has lost his rear wing, front wing, and blown his engine. So he will not be going out again this session. He's had to escape on the track, and you are not allowed to rejoin the session if you do that. So that's Tyen out of the equation. He'll hold that second place, but now it's only Parker, Fider, Cooper, and Baldy and the likes who can stop him.
Yes, absolutely. And, well, David Fidok's on a lap now. It's looking good in the first 2 sectors. Not overall best for the reigning champion, who will have his official championship status taken away from him today. But definitely faster than his personal best, so he could be on for the top 3 here. Certainly looks quicker than Tom Parker's lap was. Let's see what this lap is from the second Nordschuen driver. He's in the final sector now. Into the last 2 corners of the lap, runs it slightly over the white line. Out of the final corner, blue flags, but he's just going to be getting the slipstream from the car ahead for now. It's not quicker, so not quicker in the final sector, and that will be 4th for Fidok, unless he can get another lap in. But I don't think. Yeah, we don't tend to see drivers going for 2 laps in a row here in Super League. So that's that for the reigning champion, David Fidok, number 1 on his front and rear wings.
Yep, and of course, time has expired in the session now. I see Florian Gaia, our current pole setter, is coming around to do another lap. And if Gaia can improve on this time, it's just going to put the pressure on the likes of Parker and Fidek.
Oh, he does.
He has improved to a 0.312. That's another 10th gained. And Tom Parker knows now, if he didn't know before, this is going to be a crucial lap if he wants to get pole position. David Fidek, we know isn't going to improve. Dino Paolini, a potential threat as well. But Parker's first sector, an 18.9, a whole 10th down on Florian Gaia's previous sector. So he's going to have to dig deep in the next 2.
To be honest, I think that might well be it, because Tom Parker's not on a quicker lap. Neither is David Fidok, not even faster than their personal best. So I think that at the front of the order, it's pretty much sealed.
Oh, he's gone wide on his lap there, and I think he's had to back off there. So that will be it for Parker at least. Paolini doesn't show any signs of improving. Personal fastest sector for Liam Duval in the final sector leaves him 9th. Tobias Olsen goes up to 12th. Thomas Hinds 13th. And Michel Golga all improve. And Golga goes to 16th. But it is looking very much like it will be Flogo on pole for Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, looks like it very much indeed. We've still got a couple of cars on laps further back. Matthew Marcard appears to be on a particularly quick one, but of course it's not going to move him up to the top of the order here, and that indeed will leave the top 5 as Marcard crosses the line in 10th. Not a bad effort. That leaves and Franchik demotes him to 11th actually. So Franchik up to 10th now. But anyway, the order now is Gaia, Tyen, Parker, Fidok, Paolini, Cooper, Baldy, Zupanek, Lopez, and Franchik. Those are the top 10 here.
Yeah, that will be our qualifying order, it seems. And Gaia, having taken pole position here, he'll want to convert that into a win in his last race with Nordschuen. Of course, we don't know what's going on for 2018 with him, but he'll want to go out with a bang. He has had a long and strong partnership with David Fidek at Nordschuen Racing, and even partnered up with Augustin Canapino once as well, who, of course, you know, very successful real-life driver in his own right. So Gaia, wherever he does end, he'll want to finish with a bang here in qualifying and go out with the win at Abu Dhabi.
Of course, and someone who's already won here in Abu Dhabi this week is Meadow Clont, driving the second Kernow sport car. He, of course, won the second Formula Challenge race that we saw on Tuesday. So he definitely goes well here, as does Dino Paolini, who has qualified in 5th, actually. So a great performance from Dino Paolini. But Paolini, of course, won the first race yesterday in Super Cup. So a couple of people here who we know are quick at this circuit. And of course, Florian Gaia, we've just seen, is very quick at the circuit as well, with a 1:40.312. I couldn't do that with a month of training, honestly.
Well, it depends on who your month of training was by, to be honest. Well, if it was by Pastor Maldonado, perhaps not. But if it were like someone like Yaltai, then maybe. But, you know, interested in the end, ultimately, though. The pole has gone to Florian Gaia, and he will run with that pole. He will want to get the win, as we said. Though Yaltai in 2nd place. Great result from Parker. He'll be up there as well in 3rd. Fidek 4th, our outgoing world champion, of course. Dino Paolini 5th, Alex Cooper 6th, Gergabaldi 7th, followed by Ben Sapanik, David Francic, and Matthew Marquardt in that Green Stripes car running out the top 10. And Marquardt, ever since he joined in the Super League, has really been impressive. Obviously, very good in Formula Challenge as well for YTF1, but now making, obviously, for the final race, the jump back up to Green Stripes as he's been racing for the last couple of races. And, well, I imagine he'll be wanting to keep an eye on next season as well, because I assume his impressive performances will have gone on the eye of several Super League and Super Cup teams.
Yeah, of course. So, the order again, after qualifying, because everyone has now finished, is indeed Gaia, Tyan, Parker, Fidok, Paolini, Cooper, Baldy, Zupanik, Francic, Marquardt, Capit, Olsen, Hinz, Fournier, Heras, Galka, Clont, De Vries, and Horrell. But that's discounting penalties. I know we've got a few. Do you know of the main ones?
Well, I think the main ones to watch out for are Jeffrey Fournier and Ristol Capit, who have engine changes. Ristol Capit, of course, is taking a new engine for this race, so he does take a penalty for that, and Jeffrey Fournier might have been hanging over from a previous race. But, you know, for people who are so far down the order anyway, I mean, like, Capit is 10th, which is actually very surprising for him, and Fournier 12th, so it's going to be interesting to see how they fare with that. So, you know, they're quite far down the order from what we're used to. It's going to be a bit of a run for the front from them, but, you know, crucially, this pole and that good qualifying results in Origin is really going to help them in the start of this race, though we've seen the Vod Bull cars come back from the back of the grid very often to strong positions anyway. So yeah, they've got the advantage at the start of this race, but this isn't made for them just yet.
Of course. So it's definitely not predictable yet, or at all. I mean, we know that racing isn't predictable at all, but with some quick drivers starting near the back, that's just going to add some extra unpredictability to this. So I suppose it'll all depend on how quickly they can work their way through the order and how high up the order they can get. Who did you say it was again? Yep,
come on, get your words.
Michael Galka?
Galka, yes. Michel Galka.
Yeah.
I want to note as well in that Madcape car. Of course, Madcape haven't had the best of seasons. Obviously, both the main season drivers, Lee Morris and Nick Rowland, don't drive for the team anymore. But Galka stepped in, and he has been relatively impressive given the circumstances. Of course, that Madcape car, far from the best on the grid, but he's doing a very good job in it, all things considered, and he'll be open for another strong outing to, again, solidify his potential as a driver for 2018 too.
Of course. So, just about 9 minutes to go until the start of this race. The drivers just warming up on the track. We see a few of them out there, well, most of them out there now. This will be the time when the tension is really building, of course.
Yeah, I mean, for some of these drivers as well, you know, obviously this is the last race of the season. They're going to have a nice long break before the next season, and, well, you know, for drivers, as we know, like David Francic, who I don't know whether David Francic is, yeah, he is, he's in P8. We know that he's retiring from, taking a sabbatical, at least from Simracing, from the end of this year as well. So this is the last time we'll see him in GPVWC, at least for a couple of years. He said he's going to have a bit of a break, but hopefully going to be back sooner rather than later. So we do wish David the very best in that as well. And of course, Francic, for that Street Fighter car, has been really pushing it to its limits the whole season. Be doing a great job, and it will be a shame to see the Croatian go. Hopefully, you can have one more great race here at Abu Dhabi before we just head into retirement.
It's a good place to do it. I mean, not exactly what they call a driver's circuit. No one really looks forward to coming here for the actual race. But in terms of actual spectacle, I think it is quite a good place to host a championship finale. Really, it's what they call one of the luxury circuits. Bright lights, good facilities. I mean, you don't really get that quite as much with sim racing, but still, it's certainly a good place to go as a driver.
Yeah,
or as anyone, really.
Bright lights, good facilities, and 18 miles of runoff. What more could you want?
Yes, definitely. Well, I mean, the part of the circuit I'm watching now, there's not much runoff, but then again, you don't need it. It's a straight, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's just a big straight there. In fact, one of the longest straights on the calendar, I believe, at least. So, you know, cars will get a big chance to get up to near the top speeds there. I mean, I'm watching David Franchich right now, and he's at 322 kilometers an hour coming down there. That is quite a lot of speed from him. We'll see exactly how fast the cars go in the actual race, of course. And, well, when they're filled up with fuel and they're running the race setups, it might be slightly less.
322 miles per hour, for anyone who doesn't quite know, is over 200 miles per hour. In fact, it's pretty much exactly 200 miles per hour, as near as makes no difference. Of course, the cars would have been going faster through there last year with the reduced aerodynamic downforce, and I must say that has been a big addition to the championship, in my opinion. In all of the championships that have received it, I always like to see good pace in cars like these, and the quicker they are, the better. Of course, to the detriment of their straight line speed, but still, we've seen a lot of slipstreaming happening in the races so far this week, especially in Formula Challenge and Super Cup. Well, the races that have happened this week, but especially in Super Cup, rather, because of the added aerodynamic downforce, and there's even more in this. So, and with the DRS as well, the DRS being very effective here, I'm imagining quite a lot of slipstreaming happening on the two long straights down the back end of the circuit.
Yeah, there's probably going to be quite a bit of drafting going on there, and we'll see that throughout the race. Perhaps, you know, people using advantage of the DRS, because it's pretty much a guaranteed overtake down there if you can get behind with the DRS on. So there's just that much of an advantage to be had. I mean, we'll see how this actually goes for the drivers. But, you know, just to look back on the season we've had, Josh, it has been a stunner. Obviously, from the start, Van Buren showed he was gunning for the championship, went on to win it in the end. But we've had some fantastic moments. We've had some brilliant overtakes, brilliant manoeuvres, and it's a shame it all has to come to an end.
Absolutely. I mean, I only joined late on in this series. Last 4 or 5 rounds, really. I mean, actually, it would have been last. Yeah, 4 or 5. Joined at Austin, so I haven't seen much of this particular one. But from what I have seen of it, I've been thoroughly entertained. I mean, of all of the GPVWC championships and leagues, rather, but Super League especially. This is the one that really gets the excitement going. It's the top series. We got fast cars. We got great drivers. We got great teams. This is the one that everyone looks forward to. And this year, it certainly has not disappointed. Yes, we've had the hoo-ha with the tyres not lasting very long, but that does add quite a lot of strategy to this. And to be honest, there's an upside to everything that people complain about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's been probably going to be looked at for 2018. Obviously, you know, the GPV admin and test teams always looking at what can be done to improve the mods that we use, and, you know, keep an eye on affairs and upgrade them for future years. And, well, I'm sure next year we'll see all these improvements seen. I might even break out the controller and have a go when it comes to the testing period, and who knows, I might be in the official tests again. I got to drive for Woods this year, so maybe I'll be an official test driver again in the pre-season testing again. I don't know, but it's always a chance. The pre-season before commentary always happens to get yourself a couple of laps in and compare yourself to the very best of them. But yeah, a very exciting time as we look forward to 2018 and the changes that is going to bring to the league. I mean, I always look forward to GPVWC Day. Of course, I'm not going to be there this year because it's in Belgium of all places, and I just simply can't go. But I always look forward to it and seeing all the brilliant announcements that get brought along, and I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, regardless of what I end up doing in 2018, what GPV is going to do. I feel like I knew to go onwards and upwards, because 2017 has been a stellar year, and there's only room for improvement, really.
Of course, yes. It's a shame about the GPVWC Day for me as well. I mean, a bit too far to travel. But as for the testing role, I mean, sooner you than me. Give me a car this powerful, and I'm in the wall in a second. Really, as soon as I stand on the accelerator. Sometimes not even out of the pit lane yet. So it's either that or be 5 seconds or 10 seconds off the pace rather for me. But anyway, those who can do and provide us with a great spectacle while they're doing it.
Yeah, of course, you know, and we have the young driver test coming up as well after the season. I don't know whether that's going to be broadcast or not, but if it is being broadcast, I might not end up being on the commentary for that. I might even end up in a car, who knows? But, you know, that's always one to look forward as well. Same track, of course, coming back to Abu Dhabi for the young driver test, and, well, first year it's not been held, I believe, at Silverstone or in Argos. So, you know, it's a new venture for the young driver test as well.
Oh, I wasn't actually aware it was being held at a different place than usual today. Did you say Silverstone?
Well, that's been the precedent. It always has been used at Silverstone in the past, but I think this is it's at Abu Dhabi this year, so it's something a bit different for the drivers. They'll have to tackle the new breed. They'll have to tackle this again in a couple of weeks.
Abu Dhabi is a good track for that, actually, because it has fast, sweeping sections towards the start of the lap, followed by tight hairpins and more technical sections as well. And to be honest, it really does. It really does give a young driver or a new driver a good taste of what they're going to be experiencing over the series. It's not a particularly demanding track, but to be honest, it is a good track for testing.
Yeah, it is a nice test track, a good track to test drivers' abilities, and I'm sure we'll see lots of abilities tested when the test does actually happen, and it'll be testing for the drivers. But yeah, enough of tests and enough of actual, and we should start talking about the actual application of experience, because in 55 seconds, these drivers are going to be going to the grid, these top elite Superleague drivers, one more time in 2017, and I'm certainly looking forward to calling the action 55 laps of Abu Dhabi. It is going to be a stunner, I believe, but it's going to be a bit sad as well, because it is the last race of the season, and I'm not going to be able to, if I am back in 2018, commentate until March. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me until lots of months later, and I'm finally back behind the commentary books if I'm back then. But, you know, it's going to be an interesting race. Oh dear, Tom Parker's disconnected with just 25 seconds to go before the race. Hope he gets back.
Oh gosh. Oh no, it's still here on my screen. Are you sure it was Tom Parker? Because yeah, he's still here on my screen. But anyway, yeah, I hope you've got a good refreshing drink on hand, because this is going to be a bit of a mad one. Definitely. Well, it's the final race of the series, really, so they don't need their cars anymore. They can do whatever they like with them. Well,
not the title battlers. No, it's in a vodvil, can't they? They've got a team's title to battle for.
Of course.
Yeah, well, I tell you this is going to be very interesting indeed to see how that does pan out. Of course, it kind of is heading towards vodvil at the moment, but Nolchin could pull off a blinder and sneak it at the last race. Who knows? But this could be a very interesting one indeed as well. Yeah, apparently Tom Parker has rejoined the server now and is driving around, and, well, he's back and going again. So this is going to be, you know, good to see him back in Super League, at least. Always was one of my favourite drivers back in the good old days of 2013 to 2015 when I think he was the main driver. So, yeah, go Tom.
Garrett De Vries just did the most impressive flight I've seen yet. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. Good to see Tom Parker back as he does donuts on the on the back straight. Yeah, always nice to see old faces. Of course, I wasn't actually here last time he was racing, but I've seen a couple of older races, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he can do today. Of course, he's got some pretty big shoes to fill in terms of Rudy Van Buren, but he'll just be hoping to bring the car home in one piece today and score some good points for his team, who are battling for the Constructors' Championship. So, well, we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, we'll see what he can do. And, well, the time has ticked down now, and Chris Williamson will just be, as soon as Fran Lopez has come back, just going to brief the drivers one more time on what they need to do, as is the norm nowadays. And, well, this is going to be an interesting one, as it always has been this season here in the Super League. And, well, if I had to ask you who was going to win this one, Josh Jones, out of all the drivers on the grid right now, it is going to be a tough question because this is your first Super League race, but no better way than to throw you right in the deep end. So, who's your pick?
Oh, you really have thrown me at the deep end. Of course, the safe option would be to say Florian Gaia, because he's on pole. Yeltayan might be, I mean, he's definitely proven to be a a tough one. It could be any of the top 4 or 5, really. I mean, I'm going to say Florian Geyer and take the safe option. I'm boring, aren't I?
Yeah, well, we'll see that come the race, but you know, it is a very mixed bag at the moment. Obviously, with Guy being on pole, you know, it is a safe option to go for, and that's where the smart money's at. To counteract that, though, I think I'm going to go for Tom Parker. I just reckon, you know, it seems like, okay, I'm not going to lie, it's blatant bias towards Tom Parker, but yeah, it's just I want him to win. I want him to get a Super League win. That's what it is.
Good. Good afternoon to everyone in the YouTube chat as well, the live YouTube chat. We've got Cameron Rogers, Mark, Waters Automotive, Hawkeye Racing Media, Elise Skinner, who of course has commentated on a lot of these races so far this year. Good afternoon to Elise Skinner, Mr. Coffolino. Oh, we're all in here. Wow.
Yeah, we got Nico Barkley and the whole gang here today, and well, just it's absolutely brilliant to have so many people watching, of course, and well, do keep your comments rolling in and do keep updated on your thoughts and views on the race as it goes by, because there's nothing like audience engagement. And yeah, well, it's just great to have so many people watching, you know, and looking on to see what's going to go here. And well, the grid's been set now, and well, just going to be a case of just wishing everyone the best of luck, really, because this is it. This is the end. Close your eyes and count to 10, etc., as the song goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck to everyone in this. I know they can't hear me, but actually, come to think of it, coming from a commentator, that's probably quite a bad thing to hear anyway. Because, as we all know, good luck from a commentator is the reverse. Commentator's curse, they call it. But anyway, hopefully we get a clean race. We've seen some quite clean races this year in the Super League. I mean, last time out in Brazil was a bit. I think we had something like 5 or 6 retirements in the end, but that's not reflective of the entire series. And at a track like Abu Dhabi with a lot of runoff and some place for passing, yeah, we should be on for a good race today.
Yeah, it should be a cracker, and well, we don't know who's going to win, but we can. You know, with Rudy Van Buren not being here, it really does blow it up, because if he was there, he's like, oh, well, it's going to be Rudy Van Buren. But it can't, because he's not here. He can't say it's going to be Van Buren, because he's not here to win it. Obviously, having already won the championship and now doing world's fastest gamer, he doesn't need to be. And, well, you know, really anyone could win it.
Well, here's an even more, well, here's another prediction involving Rudy Van Buren. Is he the world's fastest gamer?
Well, that might be something what we'll say. Obviously, as we said before, we at GPVWC wish the best of luck to Rudy in his endeavours to actually become the world's fastest gamer and land the job at McLaren. And
absolutely.
Well, it would be a great ambassador and great show of how good the talent is at GPVWC if he actually went on to win it. Yes,
of course. I mean, that would really show GPVWC in some very good light, wouldn't it? Even if Van Buren isn't racing here next year, but. Yeah, it would definitely be very good for the series, and as you said, we all wish him the best of luck there.
Yeah, of course, and well, here we go. Gonna get shortly on the road on the way, and we are gonna get the last race of the season up and running as the drivers prepare themselves for one more run of the mill, one more crack of the whip, as they call it, and Super League gets underway for the final time in 2017. And, well, we are going to have a lot of battles going on. We're going to have Vodbull versus Norgin for the team's title. We're going to have lots of battles up and down the grade. We have a lot for second place on in the Drivers' Championship as well, if only just. But this one is going to be a very interesting one for sure.
Absolutely. I'm on the edge of my seat already. I mean, I always enjoy just spectating Super League. But actually commentating on it as well, it's a great opportunity. And of course, it'll be even worse for the drivers. They're going to be sitting there just feeling their heartbeat pounding in their heads, really. And I know that feeling, but yeah, they'll just be wanting to get this underway, as I am.
Yeah, of course. And, well, once it does get underway, we'll be treated to 55 laps of brilliant Super League action round the Abu Dhabi circuit here in the United Arab Emirates. And, well, it's going to be a fitting end to a brilliant season of racing, I'm sure, as the drivers line up on the grid and get themselves ready for the off one more final time. So here we go then. The drivers and teams are off, and Florian Gaia leads us off on the formation lap on pole position for Nordsian Racing for the final race of the season. He will try and get one more win in before he leaves the team for Pastors New in 2018. And well, apparently we've restarted warm-up. Yes, we have, because Ben Sapanic couldn't see anyone. Well, lovely.
Yes, absolutely. We're away on the formation lap, as you say. Oh, no, we're not. What am I saying?
We've gone back to the garage's roll-up's been restarted. Get with it, Josh.
What's happened here? Okay.
Panic apparently couldn't see anyone. That's why.
I was looking at the wrong screen. Who couldn't? Someone couldn't. Oh, Ben Panic. Okay. Well,
honestly, of all the times to have technical problems, it happens in the last race.
Yeah, just before the start as well. I was really getting into that.
We have 17 perfect races, then it all goes wrong for the last one. This is typical stuff here. Well, it's not like it's a Drivers' Championship on the line. That would have made it really, really, really tense.
Yes, well,
it just means
I'll treat that as the first aborted start.
Yeah, we have to talk about something for a couple of minutes. Quick, what colour's the sky?
I can't see it yet. I'm going to try and get on board with the driver who can. Well, Tom Parker's actually going out nicely, like the other drivers aren't, dilly-dallying in the pit lane. Sky is kind of... It's blue at the top. It's kind of white on the horizon. Like, right in the horizon. Yeah, nice shade of kind of baby blue, I'd call it. Yeah, still day here. Not quite racing into the night yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on in the pit lane. I'm just watching on the broadcast, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting race for sure. And well,
I see clouds. I just thought you.
See clouds, okay.
I just thought I'd let you know. I see clouds. There are a few on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting one for sure. As well, I just think while we're waiting for Ben Sabanet to come back, it might be a good idea if we bring Elise Skinner into the chat. Just have a quick word with us. Obviously, Elise commentated on several Super League races with me before this one. Great to have you back, even if for a couple of minutes this time around. And, well, looking forward to this one.
God, it's always a great one to look out for Super League, and Abu Dhabi being the final is always going to be one to watch.
Yeah, well, I think we're about to go to the race start, actually, so that was a very, very short-lived interview with Elise Skinner. Although, thank you for joining us, and, well, yeah, great to have you with us once again. And she's gone. There you go. So, right, okay, take two. Hopefully it works this time. And, yep, there you go. Ben Sapanic saying it's fine now, so we should have absolutely no reason for a restart.
Absolutely. Second try lucky? Yeah, let's go for it.
Right, so once again, the drivers are going to be doing the thing where they line up on the grid and get ready for the race. And, well, we've just said everything, you know? We've said everything's gone on. And, well, we were going to do the grid. I think now that we started doing the grid, we don't have to really go into that much detail, at least. But, yeah, right. So, this is going to be Abu Dhabi. It's going to be a race. That's what it's going to be. Hopefully it doesn't go wrong this time. But the formation lap the second is going to get on. And hopefully the sequel will be better than the original in this case. Because, well, otherwise we'll end up having another restart. And we don't want that. So, here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Florian Gaia once again leads us off on the formation lap. Wants the win. We said this before. That it's Jarl tying from Tom Park out from David Friedek. A strong top four indeed. One to keep an eye on this race. It's an all Hawkeye row 3 with Paolini, Cooper in 5 and 6, followed by Gergo Baldi, Ben Sapanic, David Franchich and Matthew Marquardt. Again, the South African Marquardt going to be want to really watch this race. Starting in the top 10, where can he finish? Tobias Olsen, Thomas Hins, Liam Duvall and Sergi Harris next as well. Hins will be hoping to go out with a good result as well. Liam Duvall and Sergi Harris looking for a good result too. Michelle Gog are going to hope to go out with points as well, as is Gerrit de Vries in 16th in the second Green Stripes car. Then rounding out the field, the final four, Clont, Capit, Fournier and Horrell. Fournier and Capit want to make serious strides toward the front, and Horrell will as well, as will Clont want to move up as well in the final race for KNR Sport in Super League, as we mentioned. Hopefully Ben Sapanic and Menno Clont can get them a good result to go out with.
Absolutely, and I'm also looking for the progress of Resto Capit and Jeffrey Fournier, who, of course, are only down there due to penalties. Ben Horrell as well didn't actually do qualifying, so we haven't quite seen his true pace yet this weekend. So we'll well, not really this weekend, this Thursday. I'll have to get out of saying that at some point. But anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting to see who comes from the back and also what the people at the front do as well, because we've seen that. Of course, the Vodball car is very, very fast, and we'll have to watch what Tom Parker can do in that. Of course, there's a championship battle going on there in the Constructors' Championship between Parker and Fiddock's cars, and Fiddock, of course, is starting right behind him. So, yeah, at the front of the field, definitely a lot to watch for. At the back of the field, definitely a lot to watch for. And the midfield, I fear, is going to get sandwiched between the two, but that's what we love to see. So, let's get it underway.
Yeah, Ben Horrell, of course, the last car is going to slot into the grid slot, and we know how good Ben Horrell is. Obviously, you know, we'll be hoping for one more good result here in 2017 before the next season, wherever that might be for him. I assume he'll try and stay in Super League, of course, because he's, well, proven his credentials with Street Fighter this year, and he's proven himself to be a top 10 consistent driver. So we'll see what Ben Horrell does from last on the grid here, having not taken part in qualifying, obviously. As Florian Gaia starts to form up now. And, well, you've already said Josh Jones, he's your pick for the smart money win. I've said Tom Parker. Who do you think's going to win in the chat? Let me know, obviously, and we'll come back to those in a bit. But now, at least the drivers are starting to line up as the race prepares to get underway.
I'm pretty sure about half the chat is about to type Rudy Van Buren, knowing the people that are in there. But
but he's not here. You can't.
Well, knowing Van Buren, he'll probably find a way to win this anyway. But
to be honest, well, it wouldn't surprise us if he did as well. I think we are all lined up now. So the lights illuminate. We have 3, we have 4, we have 5. And for the final time in 2017, Super League Ace go. And Gaia gets a good enough start. But look at Parker, who's got an even better one. He's already challenging Tyan and Gaia into one. Parker and that get through smoothly, as it seems as everybody else.
But Tyan leads.
Yep,
Tyan got ahead of Gaia there. Brilliant start from Tyan. Not quite so quick from Gaia, and he's going to come under attack from Tom Parker now. So, Gaia down into second place, and that is our first change of lead right at the very start of the race. I believe everyone is cleanly through, and indeed we are in the first sector. Running wide is Ben Horrell there, but clean start so far, and it's Tyan from Gaia, Parker, Fidok, and Paolini.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth there. Yes, y'all Tyan has gone into the lead there and is starting to pull out a gap to Gaia. The Parker is going to keep an eye on those two at the front. Slightly further down the order, look at Olsen going on the outside of Poldy to try and get in a position, and he's made it work as the Storm driver. So great job by the Swede. But there comes Baldy trying to get the cutbacks. The Panic's got them eyed up nicely like a good sandwich in the morning. And Ben O'Connor is having to go on leaving Duval as well. So Storm versus Kerr out there for 12th and 13th. So we got battles being already. Now Olsen down the inside, but locks up, and he's managed to hold it temporarily. But Baldy gives him the minimum room possible. It still isn't enough to stop the Swede. He is insatiable today and holds that 7th place nicely.
There's a spinner. It's David Franchik who's gone round there at turn 14.
Franchich has gone round, of course, his last race for a while in GPVWC as he's taken that sabbatical. It just seemed that after the whole Baldy incident, Baldy got loose. It seemed like Franchich went into the back of him and just spun himself, so nothing could be done there, unfortunately. But round the final turn, y'all Tyan leads out of the first lap from Gaia, from Parker, from Friedrich, from Paolini, from Cooper, Olsen, Baldy, Zubanek, and Duval is your top 10.
Absolutely. So a big wiggle over there over the curb from Tom Parker in third. Those are the closest two at the front of the order now, or were before that wiggle, Gaia and Parker. That's possibly giving Gaia a slight bit of breathing room early on here, but Parker actually would have definitely felt that in his forced feedback. I mean, when you get over the curbs like that, it can often just unsettle the car in all directions, and he's getting right back in the slipstream now of Florian Gaia. So let's see how close he can get down this back straight. I
think from this, he's not going to get much closer from that distance. He'll have to be a lot closer if he wants to go for an overtake, but he can try at least and get a couple of mile-an-hour advantage on Gaia, and that will help him slightly. But yeah, Fidek at least is going to be safe in the knowledge, knowing that Gaia is trying to hold Parker up and then go for a 2-3. And given how far Bristol Cabot is, he's 14th in the order. Given how far back Cabot is, this could potentially, if he doesn't move further up the order that much sooner, this could start to go well in Nordstrom's favour.
Absolutely, and of course that, as you say, is essential in the Constructors' Championship for Nordsjö. And of course, they've already lost the Drivers' Championship, so the next thing that they'll be looking for is the Constructors' Championship, which has been kept alive until now by the two very quick drivers in Florian Geyer and David Feidock. But of course, they have that Vodbull car in the middle of them there, and that Vodbull car being Tom Parker could definitely change things. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, we will see what happens there. Looking further down the order, though, it seems like the cars are a bit bunched up at the moment. There are battles brewing. Golga and Kalanta seem to go all right. Capit has gotten past Duval, who I assume is actually Liam Duval has actually gone up to 10 there. And yep, Gerrit de Vries is at the back of the order from Ben Horrell from Franch. It's the back three at the moment, but certainly interesting goings on. Baldy round! Gergo Baldy goes for a tumble dryer for one there. He has absolutely spun himself.
A huge crash! Over and out goes Mikkel Galka right over the barrier. Didn't quite see how that kicked off, but that... Oh my goodness. He slots straight back through the barrier, but he's going to be out. Ooh, actually tries to get it going again on three wheels, but he's caught fire.
Golga in an absolute barnstormer of a crash there. It was 3-2. Baldy had just spun. He caught the curb. And he went airborne, couldn't control the car, obviously, because it was in the air, lost it, and then Clont, an innocent victim in that, and he hops over the barrier. That's some way to exit a Super League race.
Absolutely it is. We saw a car going over the wall in the Formula Challenge race just 2 days ago, of course. But come to think of it, we don't tend to see Yas Marina is a track where we're going to get large accidents. One place you do have to look out for is the Wall of Death, as we've nicknamed it, which is the wall on the exit of turn 19. That's been catching out cars all weekend. Haven't seen... big off there from Tom Parker. Actually locks up and goes right the way off the road, and that's really given Florian Geyer some breathing space now.
Yeah, I just saw actually he went into the fast right and then he just understeered off it. And that has given it's given Geyer some space, but that's going to hit his tyres with everybody. He's in already after 3 laps.
He's in already.
Okay.
It's Tom Parker.
Parker is in. I don't know whether this is to change tyres or not. It can't have must not be working for him. Might have just used those to get them out of the way. He will drop down the order now though, but he might be saving himself a bit. No, it was a drive-through. Got a drive-through penalty for something, and he served it. Well, this has put Parker right down the order. It's a nightmare for... And he's spun in the pits! He's spun it in the pits as well, and he's lost his front wing! This is a nightmare for Vodbull!
That is an absolute disaster. I mean, you can't do... I mean... thing you want to do is make an error like that in the pit lane of all places. He is going to feel so bad about that, and to be honest, that's such a shame. We don't want to see the Constructors' Championship claimed like that, but absolute drama here on the 3rd lap of the race.
Well, I mean, that puts all the pressure on Risto Capit now, because they've got to try and effectively, if Parker goes down the back of the order, they're going to try and win the Constructors with 1 car, and that's Risto Capit. If they can pull it off now, it would be a miracle, but Tom Parker has just made the mistake that nobody wanted to make. First of all, he has to drive through, then he has this, now he's going to do a whole lap without a front wing. That's literally the worst stroke of luck I've ever seen.
Talking of Risto Capit, he's just been passed for 9th place, and guess who by? Menno Clont from 17th on the grid, up into 9th place already, as Matthew Marquardt gets a bit sideways. That's actually an incredible start from Formula Challenge Race 2 winner, Menno Clont. I mean, 17th to 9th in just 4 laps. That's really, really impressive, and he's got ahead of the well, quite a big car in terms of the actual championship now. The car that's supposed to be keeping the Constructors' Championship alive now, as Alex Cooper pits. So definitely watch that one. Watch Menno Clont. He is coming.
Yeah, Clont is really impressive this race, at least. I mean, to overtake Capit of all people. We know how good Menno is in a race situation, of course, but, you know, in Super League cars as well, he's very impressive. So, you know, go Menno. Let's see what he can do as well. This has really opened it up now for Florian Geyer and David Feidock. They're in 2nd and 3rd. They are going to get 18 and 15 points respectively. That's going to put them on 33 points if my quick maths is right. And, well, obviously, you know, Bristol Cabot further down the order, I imagine about 6 points. It's going to be touch and go if the positions stay as is. It really is, and well, this is going to be brilliant. I mean, at the moment, Gaia and Friday pretty much just need to go first and second, but I think it's going to be touch and go at the moment with the points. I think they're just on the limit of what they can lose. It's going to go down to a couple of points if this continues and Parker doesn't get back into the points here, but Clont and Cabot battling it out now, and Cabot goes wide, and that means Clont keeps it. Well, this is an interesting turn of events. I mean, Menno Clont not making it easy for Bristol Cabot. If he wants to get himself in the championship winning scenario for Vobble, he's got to get past Clont, and Clont is making his life as difficult as possible here.
My goodness, Meadow Clont still ahead of Risto Capit, and that's not what the Vodbull team would have wanted to see here. Clont doing a very good job in the opening stages of this race, and that's going to be frustrating Risto Capit. Of course, Capit on the softer tyre at the moment, so possibly doesn't quite have the grip to get past Meadow Clont in this early stage. I'm seeing a big variety in strategies early on in this race. Actually, we've seen a couple of pit stops already. Liam Duval's in there right now for a set of super softs. But anyway, several people starting on different tyres, and it just seems to be working at the start here for Meadow Clont. Although we'll see what happens to Risto Capit later on in the race. Of course, this stint will last longer for him than for anyone else.
Yeah, Duval in already, as you rightly said, for Super Softs, and well, that has been the most popular tyre all season, apart from the Ultras in the opening stage of the race. People just like them. They seem to be the best tyre overall, and well, they seem to do a lot of people a lot of good, but he's the first, well, one of the first at least to pit in, because Ty and Gaia and Fidek all still on their original sets of tyres, as is Paulini and Zapanic. They haven't come in yet, so they're making them last slightly longer than Duval has.
Meadow Clont almost getting attacked now. In fact, he will get attacked down into turn 11 as
got the inside again.
Yeah, Risto went to the outside, but Clont has left his braking slightly too late. There's contact. That could have been all over for the Constructors' Championship there.
Fournier went for the inside there, but it didn't exist. Has to back off. Cabot, though, was going to be more than a little bit annoyed with himself for not being able to get past Clont, though.
My goodness, that could have been the end of the Constructors' Championship right there, with Captain Clont making contact. It looked. Oh, Gaia into the pits. Our pole sitter is into the pits earlier than anyone else in the top three, as Dino Paulini follows him in as well. So these two, I suspect, will be going on to a set of super softs. Yes, indeed they are. Of course, we saw this in Brazil, as also into the pits now, Zupanek and Olsen. We saw this kind of strategy in Brazil, where some people would go for... some people, of course, would start on the Ultrasoft tyre just to get the track position at the start of the race. Then they'd do the whole middle stint on the middle section of the race on the super soft tyre just to get that one out of the way. And also because, as you said, it is the better tyre overall.
And then interesting. I've just noticed, sorry to cut you off there, Josh, but speaking of tyres, Risto Capit is on the softs. Now, I don't know whether he started on the softs.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. So he started on the softs in an attempt to offset his back of the grid penalty so he can go longer. And now we're in the pit window where he's going to pit and he's going to lose the positions. But Clont has already pitted, I believe, and he's up to 5th.
To be honest, I should have mentioned that earlier, right? I mentioned that about a lap ago, but I knew that he would. I was expecting that he'd try to go for a different strategy to the cars around him, because he knows that he's quick. So he wants to get past everyone while they're in the pits. Of course, he knows he's quicker than the cars around him, as Fournier shoves his way to the inside of Clont there. Robust, but he's through. But as I was saying, Risto knows that he can get past, or get effectively past the other cars while they're in the pits. That's leapfrogging, we call it. So rather than going for the same strategy than the rest of them and having to get past them on the track, he's going for an alternative strategy. And of course, we saw that from Jarl Tyne last round. Talking of Tyne and Fidok into the pits right now. So the two leaders into the pits, and I presume these will both be for super softs as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Tyne has gone up the super softs as his Fidok just coming off the jacks now. And is Tyne going to jump him or not? Yes, he has, only just though, as Jarl Tyne.
Oh my goodness.
Fast Fidok in the pits. That's how close it was between the two of them. just manages to get himself through there, and Tyan manages. But again, it's so close, that can easily change afterwards. It's the coup out just ahead of Capit on softs. That's going to hurt for the Estonian.
Absolutely it is. And Capit, of course, hasn't stopped yet and won't be required to stop for a little while yet. So he will be, of course, benefiting from them using their slipstream down the straight here. And that is possibly definitely what Capit needed and what the Nordsjön guys did not need.
Yeah, that is, you know, well, technically, I think this kind of benefits the Nordsjön guys more in a sense, because they're ahead on fresh tyres. Capit has got the pit, so he's going to, then again, he's on soft tyres, he can go longer. And, you know, it's arguable it can go either way in this sense. We'll have to see how it goes for Capit. I think with the amount of points that he's in for now, obviously with this being a top 4 position, he's going to get about 12 or so points out of this. I think the gap now offset enough to keep Vodball as champions, but this is kind of what Capit needs now. Parker's down in 18th.
Absolutely. And I do think it will probably benefit Capit more because of course he knew he wasn't racing the Nordsjön guys yet anyway, because of course he's on this different strategy and he started from the back end of the grid. But of course he will be getting the slipstream at the moment, as I mentioned. So this is definitely what he needs on runs like this. Of course, he will just be trying to make that soft tyre work, as is Geoffrey Fournier behind him. Just trying to make it work for as long as possible and as fast as possible, because, of course, it's all right staying out for as long as you can, but you do need to actually benefit from it as well. And that's what he's trying to do by getting ahead of the other cars that have pitted. So it'll be interesting to see where he slots in after this first pit stop stage. So when everyone has made their first stop, where Risto Capit is in the order. And I expect he'll actually be quite near the front. 8th or 7th? Who knows?
Well, we'll see where he does come out when he does pit. That's a fairly accurate prediction, I'd say, actually, Josh. That is quite a good prediction for where he's going to come out. We'll keep an eye on that then. Although Thomas Hinz further behind, about the 8th or 9th, is under threat from Dino Paolini. Paolini looking at the inside of the German here, and he's outbraked Hinz by a mile. I think Hinz went on the brakes early there. Don't think he's fighting him particularly hard. And it might be because he's still on Ultrasofts and hasn't pitted yet. Maybe planning to come in this lap.
Quite possibly. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone on the Ultrasofts for this long. Then, to be honest, I don't think he'll be able to make one more lap. The Ultrasofts are only really predicted to last a very small percentage of the race in the first place. So I can't see anyone going on the Ultrasofts for this long, or indeed the Supersofts for much longer than this either. So yeah, Thomas Hinz will probably be pitting this lap. We'll see how that strategy does him. He stayed out in the Ultrasofts longer than everyone else.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how this goes then, strategy-wise. I obviously say we're expecting Hinz in, and he is coming in fact, getting off those Ultrasoft tyres and getting onto a different set, and we'll see where he comes out, of course, as we'll see sure when Risto Capit pits, where he comes out. And, well, at the front, again, it's a bit strung apart at the moment. Gergo Baldi and Alex Cooper are getting close for 6th, though. They
are indeed, as Hinz does indeed pit. So we were all expecting that, and he did. So super soft tyres for Thomas Hinz there, and that will be probably the end of the first pit stop stage. Of course, we're still expecting the guys on softs to pit, Risto Capit and Geoffrey Fournier. But in terms of the drivers on the ultra soft to super soft strategy, that's the end of the first stop stage. Now it'll all be about watching these two cars in 4th and 5th, Risto Capit and Geoffrey Fournier. They are the most important cars in the race at this moment in time.
Yeah, the two soft shod cars at the moment. We'll see how long they can go on a set. Maybe going for not very many stop sort of going affair here. And well, if they're trying to stop less, maybe that is what's going on here. So if they're trying to stop less, they're trying to save the pit stops and gain time overall. Of course, they're going to be slower on the actual tyres potentially. But, you know, cutting out pit stops, it's one of the first times we've really seen that. You know, it's always been Jarl Tyen who's been a big proponent of the soft tyres during the race this season. Never really seen Capit and Fournier do that.
It would certainly be quite unusual. I mean, it's not what they call the optimum strategy that Captain Fournier are taking here. So they would need a bit of luck to place on the podium here. But Jarl Tyen certainly got close in the last race when he attempted it. So yeah, it'll simply all be about what these two can do right now in this stint, because this is the bit where they will be leapfrogging cars, as I've said.
Yeah, this is going to be the critical point of the strategy, I believe. You know, when they do pit, this is where we're going to see when they're going to come out overall and how much time they've gained or lost throughout their strategy choices. I mean, Cabot at the moment, he's about 10 seconds ahead of 10th place. So, you know, assuming a pit stop is about 2 or 3 seconds and the pit lane is about 15, you know, Cabot is going to come out about, I'd say, 12.
About 12? I was expecting it to be higher than that, actually. That's probably not what he wanted from the strategy. Maybe it'll play in a bit more later in the race, but I don't really see why it will, because he'll be doing the same as everyone else with several stints in the middle on the super soft big. Oh dear, Fournier's just been hit by. Oh! It was Dino Paolini. So Paolini and Fournier just came together down at turn 11, and that could have been a lot worse. They both seem to have roughly got away with it, with Paolini just losing it wasn't Paolini, in fact it was Cooper. I thought it was Paolini because he was the bottom place of the two drivers, and I thought I saw a half spin from the light green car, but no, indeed Alex Cooper just ended up doing a big save, as into the pits now comes Jeffrey Fournier and Risto Capit. So this is where it matters, and it'll all be about where they come out of the pits now. Also into the pits comes Alex Cooper, the other driver in that team. So in the Hawkeye Racing team, that's the one.
Yeah, that worked. I see the tyre choices. Jeffrey Fournier stayed on the ultra softs here. Alex
went on to the
supers, as has Cabot. So there you go. They have all changed over. Cabot now on the same strategy, you may argue, or on a similar strategy to other cars. Men O'Connor on the supers now as well. Also on the supers. He's gone on to the supers, as I imagine Gaia's stint is starting to come to an end. So maybe getting on an alternate strategy here. But he's down in 9th place, so that's not actually as bad as it might have been.
He's right in the slipstream of Menno Clont now. These two, of course, were nose to tail earlier in this race. Capit came out in 9th in the end, so I was closer in terms of my prediction. But this move is going to be over before the corner using the slipstream. Clont's not going to dive bomb back, so Capit up to 8th now. Exactly where I said he'd be after the first pit stage. But anyway.
Well, I guess Josh wins the battle of the Joshes in that one, but he's got the strategy, he's got the prediction right, and I didn't. But there's a lovely, I do predict there's going to be a lovely battle brewing for fourth soon, because Baldy, Paolini's a panic is getting pretty tasty. Paolini and Baldy, at least, closer than Benz, but if the two at the front start battling, Zapanic might get a shot at closing in.
Cooper just can't stop coming together with people down at that chicane. He's just had another spin in contact with Thomas Hinz there, and that is not what Alex Cooper wants, because he's lost a lot of time in the last few laps there. Also, unfortunately, from this race, we've already lost Ben Horrell, as well as Mikael Gauke, who we saw going over the wall earlier. But Ben Horrell, since last time I've looked, has retired from this race. That was about 3 laps ago, as Gergo Baldy pits as well. But Alex Cooper losing a lot of time in the last few laps through various incidents and accidents.
Yeah, Cooper just seemed to get entangled with one of the red arches there and just went round. Obviously, wheels touched, and Gergo Baldy's just come out of the pits on the super softs as well. So that's one to take note of. And, well, we imagine these super soft runners who pitted straight away, the likes of Gaia, Tyen, Feidig, you know, these guys are going to be coming to the end of their stints now, and they're going to be pitting, I'd imagine, around lap 13, 14, 15. These guys are going to come in. So we'll see then if Capit's alternate strategies really works or not.
And more instance involving Cooper as he gets very sideways and off the road, chasing Thomas Hinz, and now he's going to dive to the inside of Hinz and finally get past him again. Also watch Franchik and Fournier. They are nose to tail down the back straight. And also ahead of them, we have Baldi and Jerez side by side. Baldi's going to get the better of that. Who's going to get the better of Fournier and Franchik? It's going to be Fournier up the inside. So Fournier does indeed pull that move up into 12th position. Remember that points go down to 15th. And talking of 15th, Thomas Hinz demoted to 15th. Oh, again, rather. Not quite able to get past Alex Cooper in the first of the chicanes or the chicane in the middle of the straight. Rather, there's more contact. Hinz does the good thing of going wide to avoid even more contact than that. But that was very, very hairy. Into the pits again comes Jarl Tyan. So Tyan into the pits this time. This will be for another set of super softs, unless he's going for something dramatic in terms of strategy. Looks like he's stalled the car, actually. I'm not used to the stops being this long. Okay, well, he's got going now, so out of the pits goes Jarl Tyan. That was quite a slow stop.
Well, it won't help Tyan for sure, but, well, I'd like to bring it to this point. We do have someone we can interview, and it is Ben Horrell for Street Fighter Racing Systems. Unfortunately, out of the race, retired after 8 laps of running. Didn't quite get the chance to see what happened, unfortunately, Ben. I'm just going back to see if I can find out now. But it is a shame you've retired from this race. You were looking quite, you started from that, but you had seemingly quite a good start.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say if you're looking back, it was a spectacular crash into turn 3. Ran a little bit wide on the exit, and yeah, I think I rolled about 5 or 6 times. I think I scared one of the green stripes because I was flipping, and I think I went over him or something, and maybe in front of Parker as well, I think it was. But yeah, the start was good up until about T4. I think I was up until about 15th, 14th, and then I was trying to stay out the way of Risto, and then just didn't notice the red archer that was on the outside as well. So I had a little bit of contact there, and I came off worse. But yeah, the car was looking pretty quick actually. I know David had a little bit of trouble as well, but we were looking pretty quick.
Yeah, looking pretty quick at least. And while this does bring an end to Super League season slightly prematurely, I'm sure you would have hoped to get to the end of the race, but it's been an okay season for you at Street Fighter. You've had a good few races, and you've definitely shown your potential, as we know you have.
Yeah, I mean, the start of the season, I think the less we talk about that, the better. I think I started off the season with the 6 DNFs on the run or something like that, or something stupid. Yeah, and the season kind of got better as we got on. The last couple of races, I think it's from sort of Monza onwards was really good. Brazil last race, we were looking really strong. I was straight on the pace from the first lap I turned in practice. David had worked on a fantastic set, and we're looking good. But unfortunately, we both got caught up in a first lap incident, so we didn't get to show our pace. So we're a little frustrated. We're looking to really, push on for this for this race. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not quite happened as we planned.
Yeah, it didn't quite happen, unfortunately. But yeah, obviously, looking forward then, going into 2018. Have you got anything planned yet? Are you still trying to work out what you're going to be doing?
I'm still working out where I'm going to drive.
Yeah, well, wherever we do see, I'm sure that it's going to be interesting to see how things go, at least for year in 2018. And well, we're hoping at least, they'll be more successful than perhaps you were in this race, because you have a lot of talent, as we know, and you've shown it throughout this Super League season. Thanks very much for joining us, Ben. It's been a pleasure to have you, and good luck for everything that goes on next year.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So an unfortunate end to this race for Ben Horrell, which we didn't quite see. A couple of guys going on to the softer compound of tyre there while we were interviewing Ben. Liam Duval in particular, Matthew Marcard as well, also on the softer tyre now. Of course, Duval we saw. Into the pits now comes Gaia and Fidok from the lead of the race. So the two Nordschulen guys into the pits, and it'll be interesting. I'm mainly interested to see where Florian Gaia comes out, because...
Hello!
Oh, hello!
Oh, they've gone side by side!
Can you do that?
Hello! I don't know. I think we had to do about this. I think we had to do about parallel pit stops before, didn't we? Once before. I'm going to go consult the rule book on that one, actually, Josh. So you keep an eye on the action, because I'm not sure.
I have never seen that before, in fact. I didn't know you could in this game. I was just about to say they probably won't have to double stack, because I thought there was enough of a gap. It turned out that there wasn't. There was definitely talk about double stacking yesterday in Super Cup, so I'm suggesting
No,
that...
you're not allowed to do it. It's Rule 23.13, actually. Drivers are not allowed to take parallel pit stops in which two cars are serviced at the same time. And going back on it was marginal, but I think there was definitely work being undertaken to both Norwegian cars at the same time. Gaia was on the jacks. He dropped off the jacks. Fidek went up. And either they've timed it to the millisecond perfectly, because Fidek stopped just as that happened, or there was work on both cars at the same time. And the penalty for that, of course, is a 10-second stop goal for both cars, or a 30-second penalty after the race. So that could be the championship for Norwegian gone.
That is absolutely dramatic. That might just be one slight mistake in error, but I mean, in one error in judgment, really. Or maybe they just didn't know the regulations, but whatever the case, if they do get a penalty for that, that is absolutely dramatic in terms of the championship. Meanwhile, contact again involving Alex Cooper at turn 11. Who would have called that? That was with Bruce Superneck there, as Superneck seemed to just misjudge his braking slightly, and Cooper does rejoin in his rightful position there in 8th position. But he just seems to be making contact with someone there every single lap. Yeah, that's certainly not his corner when it comes to battling. But anyway, one thing I have noticed is that Jarl Tyen is now actually behind both Nordchen guys. Of course, we saw at the start that he dropped behind Gaia after the first pit stop stage. Of course, he took the lead after the first turn, but now he's actually lost a place to Fidek as well, possibly as a result of the strategy helped by the parallel parking. So it'll all depend on what kind of penalty they do get, if they do inherit. If
they're going to get a penalty in this race, then it's not going to be 30-second stop go. Otherwise, it'll be 30 seconds after the race. So this is going to be interesting now to see. This could be the championship gone through that one mistake.
And the race gone too. Jarl Tyen would lead the race if they are found guilty. I mean, to be honest, they were parallel in the pits, so if I was the race steward here and I saw that rule, then it would be a penalty from me. So we'll see what happens here. Certainly drama in the championship. If we see them in the pit lane before they're due next, then we know why.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this. This is a dramatic development of the championship. All of a sudden, this has happened and they might be getting penalised for it. We'll have to see. Of course, I'm sure race director Chris Williamson will be looking at that with a beady eye and thinking, right, okay, let's have a look at that to the millisecond, because, well, this is going to potentially affect the championship. I mean, I know drivers can have problems with latency sometimes, but as far as Fidek might be concerned, Gaia might have moved on by the time he got there, and it might be marginal, but from where I was sitting, I'm not one to make objective judgments, of course, because my internet's not perfect, but it kind of looked like they were there at the same time.
Yes, well, they were parallel in the pits. Of course, I don't know whether there was work going on both cars in the time when they were parallel. I don't exactly know how the rules are going to be interpreted on that, but they were parallel in the pit lane, so who knows, as Jeffrey Fournier now pits using his ultra soft tyres, which he locks up on the way into his box. He is now onto a set of super softs, and also in now is Alex Cooper as well, also onto a new set of super softs. So a couple of pit stops going on further down the order. And after that pit stop stage, the order is Gaia, Fidek, Tyen, Capit, Baldy, Paolini, Zupanek, Olsen, Hintz and Deval. But for how long? Well, we'll have to see what happens up the front of the order. Also, the battle for 10th, I've just noticed, is very, very close, and that might well change this time on the back straight, because Meadow Clont is right in the slipstream of Liam Deval's car. That's going to change here as Deval, or Clont rather, is going to pull out to the outside, and this is going to be over before the corner. There it goes. So Meadow Clont pulls that move. Also, I see two cars side by side further back. No, I don't. That was just a trick of the eye. And actually, Deval's going to come back at Clont here. So Deval using the second straight, of course, to get back at Meadow Clont. He's going to the outside. We saw what happened when he went to the outside of someone last time there. Although, no such contact this time round. And Meadow Clont is going to keep that. Not many overtaking opportunities in the final sector of the lap. So that's that for now. Clont up to 10th. Yeah,
interesting stuff, definitely. And oh dear, Mike Pittman actually
Yes.
Yep, I just saw that. He was trying to wrestle some of the wrist quick up, but it's not worked. So, why me? I don't know whether team manager spectating can get done for chatting in race, but that's fairly vital information being spread to other teams, and Mike Pittman is going to get a bit concerned now, I think, because that's just gone public. Why me? Well, you talk about the season finale not being dramatic.
Well, I tell you what, everyone else would probably have seen or heard the same thing from either their team bosses or their spotters,
the drivers would.
Or the chat. Well, some of the drivers will. So, well, to the people who are battling Nords, then, well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of them would know anyway. But yeah, that could be a little bit of a slip up there from Mike Pittman. Of course, you're supposed to only comment after the race is over. Also, I've just seen something else of interest as far as the rules are concerned. There was a driver there that just cut the pit exit line. Is there? Do the same rules apply to that as they do in reality?
Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Sorry, what was that?
Also to do with the rules, there was a driver there who just cut the pit exit line. Do we have the same rules about that as we do in reality?
Pit exit line, I'm sure that'll be looked at as well. I'm sure Chris Wellington will review that, and well, we'll see exactly how this goes. But you know, it can again just be marginal things. But yeah, well, I'm still in shock after all this sudden drama.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, what I was going to say was that. Of course, you are told before the race by the race director. Oh, I'm going to have to interrupt that slightly because Risto Capit is into the pits now. So this will be presumably for another set of super softs. Yeah, there he goes again. I wouldn't be surprised if the last stint is done on ultra softs because the kind of flow and cycle of the tires is enough. So that there's a short enough stint at the end for an ultra soft stint. We saw that in Brazil, and I expect we'll see that again today. But until then, most people will just be going around on super softs. I expect pretty much everyone on track now will be on the super soft compound. But Matthew Marquardt isn't. He's doing a set on the softs. Yeah. Anyway. As I was saying,
going to the softs there, yeah. I was just going to say, you know, it's been a relatively popular choice this race. Actually, I think the softs have seen more winning this race now the entire season.
Yes, actually, quite. I've just noticed that 3 guys are on softs now, with Liam Duval and Gerrit de Vries also on the soft tyre. But most of the guys now on super softs, and to be honest, that's probably the ideal strategy to go for. It's certainly the one I'd do. I'd probably go ultra soft followed by as many middle stints of super softs as I need, and then an ultra soft to finish the race as well. But anyway, now if I can try to finish what I was saying earlier, I'll give it one more try. You're told before the race not to speak in the chat until all drivers have finished the race.
I think it was probably... Oh, blimey, Marquardt got involved in a big one there. Sorry to interrupt you there. I just saw Marquardt going round. It was an Adonis car that went off. It was the Sergi Arras there on the outside. He seemed to come in a bit. Marquardt went wide. There was big contact, and Arras tried to come back on, clipped over the anti-cut, slammed into the side of Marquardt, and just narrowly missed the likes of Parker and Hins. That was a massive one for Sergi. Luckily, he got away without much damage, and I think Marquardt has as well. Very lucky escape.
That was indeed. I've just seen it on the live YouTube stream, in fact, and yeah, to be honest, you don't get much closer than that. Although Tobias Olsen has just come back into the pit lane with a missing front wing, so there obviously has been some kind of damage caused on that lap, as David Franchik and Tom Parker are also into the pits now. Parker, of course, now well down the order after the incident we saw him having in the pit lane earlier in the race. He is going out again now in 17th position as it is. But yeah. So it's a Nortuan 1-2 here in the final. What was that?
At least for now, because we don't know what's going on with the thingy. But yeah, Nortuan 1-2 as we come into this third part of the thingamajiggy.
Yeah, so of course, as you say, for now it's Nordstrom 1-2, followed by Yaltain, Risto, Capit, and Dino Paolini. Capit, of course, has the pressure of the entire team waiting on him at the moment. Although I believe that if we finish as we are now, then the championship's over basically. Nordstrom win it, but of course. Vodbull will not just be wanting to let it go like that. They've already sealed the Drivers' Championship, and as I said earlier, the next step is the Constructors' Championship. Actually, usually it's the Constructors' Championship that comes first, but anyway, not looking good for them at the moment. As into the pits comes Bruce Zupanek.
Yeah, Zupanek into the pits now, and well, this will be tyres again for the Hungarian. Going to go into another set of another set of supers, and well, that is the expected outcome. Clondon as well in the second car now. Of course, no need for controversy over this one because he came out well behind. And then another set of supers out comes Clont now, and we'll see how this goes for Menno. The rest of the race, he's had a strong start though. You can grant him that.
Absolutely, he did. I mean, remember he went from 17th to 8th in just 4 laps. So, to be honest, Menno Clont, very, very impressive first stint. After that, in the race, we've of course seen him not quite there, because well, the strategies have filtered out now. But still, 13th place. That's impressive. That's 4 points in the Drivers' Championship. It's 3 points. So yeah. For Menno Clont, the driver who won the Super Cup race, the Formula Challenge race rather, it was Paolini who won the Super Cup race just 2 days ago. Good performance so far, and it'll be interesting to see how far up the order he can get himself in the rest of the race. I mean, still got plenty of time to go, over 50% of the race to go, so not even halfway through yet. Lap 22 of 55 we're on now.
Yeah, lap 22 we're on now, and well, this is going to be an interesting 60% of the race from now. There's been a lot of drama in the first 40, but how is the last 60 going to stack up in comparison? We'll have to wait and see how it does, of course. For now, though, at least Florian, guys, you rightly see it, leading the race from Fidek, from Tyan, from Cabot, from Paolini is your top 5. And this has been a good race from Dino Paolini for us so far. For the most part, he's kept us out of trouble, and the top 5 for Hawkeye is not going to be a bad result at all.
Of course, certainly not. Of course, we haven't really seen them up the front of the order for much of the year. They've had some flashes of pace and some very good results, but a 5th place will definitely do them very good in the Constructors' Championship. Who's their closest rival at the moment? I'm just going to check that. So Hawkeye is currently 5th. Just 25 points behind Adonis, so that one's actually quite close, and that could change. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Hawkeye in a good position at the moment, although I believe Adonis still have that as it goes.
Yeah, as it goes, at least, you know, has that. But this is turning into a brilliant race. Thus far, and Fidek in the pits I've just noticed as well, so David Fidek in from P2 now in the Nordstrom car, going to come into the box now and hit the jacks once more, and well, he's actually come in before Florian Guy this time, potentially has to avoid a repeat of the incident there. I don't think David Fidek would have done that intentionally. I think he must have just missed his judgment or something. I don't think it was intentional. I think he was trying to get it as close as possible and just mess it up.
Yeah,
you know, it doesn't strike me as the sort of driver, you know, and I've commentated on him since 2015, does not strike me as the sort of person who would do that intentionally if he knows it's illegal. So, must just have genuinely got his timing wrong.
Yeah, it would have just been a slight miscommunication in the team, or just a slight misjudgment. The word I keep using is slight, because really it doesn't take much in a series like this to make an error and for it to cost possibly you the race, and that's what we've seen, and that's what we will continue to see as long as there's racing, although whether it'll happen today or not remains to be seen, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, what's going to be is going to be for that. We can't really do much about that now. We don't want to really focus on the race in hand and just focus on what is, and whatever happens, happens. But, yeah, just at the moment at least, they are 1 and 3. We can't change that.
Well, I tell you someone who can change that, the race steward. But we'll see if he does or not.
Yeah, for now at least, they're 1 and 3.
I'll tell you someone who is on a charge at the moment though, and that's Jarl Tyen. Last time through, he set the fastest, or no, two laps ago, he set the fastest lap of the race. So obviously he wants this stint to count. Into the pits now comes our race leader, Florian Gaia. So as you rightly called, Fidok and Gaia now getting the communication right and pitting on separate laps. Meanwhile,
yeah.
Alex Cooper and Thomas Hintz going down into... making contact at that chicane again. Alex Cooper just can't stop making contact with people down at that part of the track, can he? I mean, it's happened again. No damage yet, luckily, and Thomas Hintz is going to miss out on a place with Sergei Eras there. I have been reliably informed by the YouTube chat with Elise Skinner and Cameron Roger that his name's Eras and not Heras, like I was saying earlier, so apologies about that. Meanwhile, Eras into the pits, so down the pit lane he comes, and we presume, as it is for most of the other drivers, he will be going onto another set of super soft tyres, and Liam Duval is also in after his long soft tyre stint, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on what tyres Duval goes on to now, because of course he's on a separate strategy to the rest of the field. It's the super soft as well. So in fact, Sergei Eras now is onto the ultra soft, so obviously feeling that he needs to push in this stint. So Eras onto the ultra soft, and it'll be interesting to keep an eye on his lap times to see just what kind of progress he's making.
Yeah, meanwhile, look at this, Tyen and Gaia at the front. You talk about Jarl Tyen on a charge. Look how close he is now. I'd say he's within a couple of tens. He was winning up within 600s before. And, well, now Tyen is really gunning for it. Coming into the last turn, he is chasing down Gaia. He is not going to be content with second. He wants the win outright.
Remember that before the last pit stop stage, he was actually behind David Fidok. So obviously, the two Nordschulen cars having to pit on different laps has cost David Fidok, and Jarl Tyen now has taken advantage of that. That was why we saw him pushing. He knew that he needed to do it then to get onto the to get onto the back of Florian Gaia and ahead of David Fidok, and that's exactly what he has done. Now it's about getting past Gaia, because it's one thing catching a driver and another thing passing them. But let's see what he can do with the slipstream this time around. I don't think he'll quite have the DRS, but the slipstream works even in slight amounts to up to 5 seconds behind the car in front, so he'll certainly be going faster than he otherwise would be on the straight this time round. Slight wiggle as he goes around turn 8 there, but Tyen, of course, has Gaia well and truly in his sights now, and he will be reeling him in. I'm interested to see what the next sector time is between these two cars. We'll be about to see it now. He's dropped back, I tell you. So, Jarl Tyen, I was expecting him to be a lot closer there, actually. About 0.8 of a second I was expecting, but no, it's 2.1 seconds now. So Tyen, obviously, realising that he's missed his opportunity to attack Gaia for now, just dropping back, and might just be biding his time and trying to either wait for a mistake from Florian Gaia or wait for a later stint.
Yeah,
also,
actually,
I'm afraid...
I think you might have actually lost the position to Gaia as he came out P1 after the pit stop. So, yeah, interesting. The Tyen's actually lost the place. I almost didn't notice that. But yeah, he's gone down to second. Gaia leads the race.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was pretty sure that he came out behind Gaia, but of course I didn't see it live. Meanwhile, we have unfortunately lost from the race Gerrit de Vries, who is our third retirement. He was running at the back of the order when it happened, but still such a shame to see anyone retiring from the race. Into the pits now comes Gergo Baldi. He's just been on an ultra soft stint. We predict he'll be on a super soft. Yeah, everyone. I mean, the predicted tyre for everyone at this stage in the race is the super soft. Of course, there are a few people who have gone for alternate strategies, but really that's rather drastic. And Well, Florian Guy is actually extending his lead a lot now. He gained a second in the last lap there. So Gaia obviously pushing. He saw that time was close and doesn't want to allow him to get close again. So Gaia now has the momentum in his favour.
Yeah, I think he needs to put the hammer down here and really try and focus on getting away from Jarl Tyne, just so that just so he can't really focus on an attack in the later stages of this races, to be honest with you, because, you know, Florian is just really just going to run away now. That's just going to be his goal, get away from Tyne.
Absolutely, that is his goal, and, well, it's a very important goal, because you can win a race by as little as 1,000th of a second. All drivers will want to have a good safety buffer from the car behind. It goes without saying, really, because of course the further you are away from the car behind, the less chance they have of getting through. And of course this sounds standard, and well, it really is for Florian Guy now. He just needs to put the hammer down and see how far ahead he can get.
Yeah, just needs to see how far he can get ahead of Tyne now, because the more time gained now, the more time he'll have in the buffer near the end of the race, as we do approach the halfway mark now. In fact, I believe we have just passed it. So there you go, 50% of the race complete, and that means there is 50% of the race to go. So, yep, that means Florian Guy at this point in the race really does hold all the aces. And while all the, I'd say some of the kings and queens are with Jarl Tyne at the moment, slightly less powerful hand, but he could make it work for him. But David Friedrich especially as well, going to need to try and get away from Rfactor, who's challenging for third. Look how far Cabot's come up the order. I think with the amount of points gained by Cabot at the moment as well, this is still going to be Vodbolt's Constructors.
Absolutely. Capit's had a fantastic stint in this one. I still think... Has he done one fewer pit stop than the others? I think he might well have done. But I don't think he's that far into this stint, so... we'll see what he can do. I mean, his tyres don't look flat-spotted from what I can see.
Cabot's last stop was on lap 20, and before that, he's been going 12 laps. So, you know, he's been getting about 8 on the super softs. I imagine he's probably actually due in.
Yeah, he's due in about this lap or next lap, so let's see what happens with Fristo Cabot this time around. That's why I was wondering whether that was a genuine position. It's not quite. Still a very good stint from Fristo Cabot there, just slowly working his way up through the order, or very quickly working his way up through the order, rather. These cars aren't slow. But, yeah, into the pits he comes now, as does Jarl Tyne.
Yep, so Tyne in, Cabot in, both the same time here. And it's going to be Wouters versus Vodbull in the pit stop. Tyne stays on the Subas, didn't expect anything else. Going to stay on the tyre that's working from. He exits the pits, Cabot comes into the pits. And what will the Estonian go for? Just manages to get past it. I think he's overshot his box. He has by a millimetre. So he wastes a second to get him back into it before he gets on his super soft.
Oh, that is disastrous for Risto Capit. I know what it's like overshooting your box. It's so easy to do because, of course, you practice your braking zones for every other place on the track. Of course, with every single corner. But the pit lane is really not... You don't really go into it much. Some drivers, of course, will practice stopping in the pit box in the warm-up session before the race, but really, a lot of drivers just completely overlook that. And even if you don't, you break into the pit box much less than you do any other place. So, yeah, it's easy to misjudge, and of course, if you lock up as well, it's easy to overshoot. It's the one breaking point you absolutely have to nail, and if you don't, it costs you time. So, unfortunate there for Risto Capit, and I hope that didn't cost him too much. It hasn't cost him a position. He's come out in 4th place, as he was... Actually, I think he was behind 4th place before this pit stop stage. So, he's gained a place there, but... anyway, Tom Parker has come out side by side with David Franchik. There's contact between the two of them. They both get tipped sideways. Luckily that neither of them spin. That's for the final points paying position at the moment, and that could have been a lot worse there. Of course, Tom Parker is actually picking up a point at the moment for the Vodbull team, and while that isn't much at the moment, and I don't think it'll flow or swing the direction of the Constructors' Championship, it can turn into more points if he makes his way up the order a bit more. Meanwhile, Jarl Tyne's in again. What's happened here?
Yes, tying in again. I don't know what's going on here. He seems to be coming in. It might be up. He's changing tyres again. What's with this? He's gone into another set of tyres, and now something happening. I think this could be a stop-go actually, because he's still in the pits waiting around. Feels like about 10 seconds he's been in. Yep, and he's out. Might have had a stop-go.
I didn't see a stop or a tyre change rather, so that is most probably a stop-go for Yartine, and he of course would have been the beneficiary if the Nordschen guys had a penalty. Now he just needs to get back into the gap. We reckon it's about 20 or 30 seconds that the Nordschen guys will be penalised after the race if they do get penalised. So if he can stay within 20 seconds of the others, then he could still be in a prime position to win this race, but of course we just don't know at the moment. We'll have to wait for everyone to filter through. Is he in seventh effectively? I think he is actually, because everyone else has pitted the normal amount, and Tyans have one more due to the stop go. So I wasn't actually expecting him to drop back as much as he did, but Tyan is currently running in 7th position, and that is dramatic.
Yeah, this has dropped him right down the order, and it's really alleviated the pressure on Fidek and Gaia, who can now really focus on getting as far ahead as is humanly possible. And, well, I imagine David Fidek's going to be running like a maniac to try and get as much of a gap as he can to everyone else now, if there is going to be problems after the race. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see now, because Risto Cabot is 30 seconds behind Florian Gaia. David Fidek is 11 seconds behind him, so you do the maths, he'll end up about 40 seconds behind if something were to be 11, he'd end up about 5th. But with where Cabot is anyway, I think Football going to win the Constructors, so it hardly matters at this point.
Well, of course, again, as we keep saying, it all depends on if the penalty happens. But for your time, we don't actually know what that penalty was for. We presume, or I presume rather, that it was due to track limits. We've seen stop goes for track limits happening before. A lot of the time you can ask for the live race steward to remove that penalty from you if you feel you don't deserve it, and they can do a quick review of that and then judge it as it happens. But in this case, obviously a stop go has been awarded to Yartine, and he's taken it, so yeah. Drama in the race again. Yeah, even more drama. I mean, it just doesn't want to stop being dramatic, this race, does it? It's just like, okay, yeah, we think it's all over now, you know, we think it's done, and like, nope, here's some more for you. It's like the blooming Mad Atlas Tea Party. Does anyone want some more drama? Well, with the GPVWC, I was never expecting it to be over in terms of the actual battles on track and the drama, of course. As I've said already, we've had some cracking fairy tale championship finales in the other two series of the career ladder, and I was expecting another one today, and we're certainly getting a good bit of tension here, if nothing else. So yeah, penalties galore, and you never know who it's going to strike next.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but this could be very, very interesting indeed, in terms of how much gap can be made and how much other things are going to go on. But I'm just watching Jeffrey Forwell, Dino Paolini's coming to pits. There was going to be a battle between them, which now isn't. But Fournier and Paolini were close. Paolini in the pits, though, I assume for tyre change, rather. And Fournier staying out.
Yeah, and Paolini pits this time round. So let's see what. Yeah, it's going to be another set of super softs. I don't know why I question that, really. Super softs all around in this race, as we've seen pretty much series long. That's what we expect, and that's what we're getting. Also into the pits now comes Thomas Hintz and Sergei Eras. So several pit stops happening now. We're in the middle of a pit stop stage for a lot of these drivers. Meanwhile, Liam Duval also into the pits. Of course, we saw Duval going for a soft stint just now, as well as we saw Hintz doing an ultra soft stint. So actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Liam Duval's done one less stop than Thomas Hintz in this race so far. But anyway, Hintz still in 13th position, and ahead of Duval, he's in 16th.
Yep, and, well, Duval obviously running around at the back, obviously coming out of the pits now. Not necessarily really been his race, but it could full well still get going, and, well, we're going to be interested to see how this goes for Duval then, as Gerrit de Vries formally leaves the server after his problems before. And I'm just looking for battles really at this point because, you know, just to see if there's anything going on. I see Tom Parker and David Mano Clont are actually quite close for 10th and 11th at the moment, and Parker making his way up the field nicely.
He is indeed, as we saw Mano Clont doing earlier in this race, in fact. But Tom Parker, well in the slipstream of Mano Clont now, and pokes to the outside as we head down through turn 11. He's not going to be close. Oh, big oversteer on the exit of the corner there, as Jeffrey Fournier pits now. But we saw Mano Clont was just really... That's what they call a speculative move. He knew that it was probably not going to work. It wasn't really a full-hearted attempt. It was just really an overlap to sort of intimidate the driver in front, let them know he's there, and assess whether he can go for a move or not.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And, well, it definitely looked to me when Yartine came in for that extra stop, it looked like it had some sort of stop go, maybe for speeding in the pit lane, I don't know. But, yeah, he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get back up as well. Gergo Baldi has a bit of a massive slide round into the chicane there. That's not going to help him catch up the rest of Capital, get away from Jarl. But, again, it's really these sort of battles in the midfield that we're looking at the moment. Obviously, Parker having gone through, not gotten through on Clont yet, but moved up into 10th thanks to some pit stops. You know, he's really trying to close down the gap to Clont here, but Meno's pulled it out since. He's slightly further away now.
I'd forgotten about Gergo Baldi, actually. He's been having a rather quiet race by himself, hasn't he? I mean, he's been 4th position for... Well, I mean, he's effectively 5th in the order, of course, with Yartine. Well, no, effectively 4th now, because, of course, Yartine had that penalty. But anyway, into the pits comes David Feidock from 2nd place. So, of course, we've seen the Nordschuln guys going one lap apart in terms of the strategy so far in this race, and that appears to be continuing. So, of course, Feidock in this lap is a sign that we're expecting Florian Gaia into the pits next time around. A battle that really has closed up in the last few laps actually has been the battle for 6th between Dino Paolini and Jeffrey Fournier. Fournier actually setting much faster lap times than Paolini in the last few laps, actually. I mean, Paolini's just come out of the pits, but even before the pit stop, it looks as if Fournier just... In fact, they both came out of the pits that time round, but it looks as if Fournier knew that they were about to go for a pit stop stage and just put the hammer down, really. And in fact, they're going to be right with each other this time round onto the back straight.
Hang on, I've just had an update, actually. I've just had an update from Race Control, and apparently David Feig is going to be coming into the pits to do a 10-step stop go, but he's volunteered to do it, so he's taking a voluntary stop go to mitigate potentially the penalty that he is going to do this. And, well, that is very good from David Feig. Of course, you can take voluntary penalties in an attempt to at least dampen the effect of a penalty that you might otherwise receive, and it's good to see Feig, you know, at least understands something might have gone wrong, and he's going to come and do that.
Okay,
so we know at least David Feig is going to come in to do a voluntary stop go.
Well, Feidock's probably the one that noticed it in particular, because of course he was the car that came in afterwards, and yeah, Gaia would have noticed it, but it was effectively David Feidock who the actual parallel park rests with, and he is coming through the pit now, so he will be taking his 10-second stop go, and it'll be interesting to see where he comes out here. So we've seen Jarl Tyen making a 10-second stop go just now. Tyen, of course, was right with Feidock before this happened, and it looks like he's going to get through. So Tyen is going to go back into 2nd position, and in fact he does with quite a significant gap. So as Feidock comes out of the pits now, he's actually a long way behind Jarl Tyen, so Tyen really made that stint work. And Jeffrey Fournier is also through, as will be Dino Paolini. Will he? No, Paolini's going to slot out behind him. So Feidock comes out in 6th place behind Jeffrey Fournier and Jarl Tyen.
Yeah, well, I have to say, it kind of shows the sportsman that David Feig is, that he would take that voluntary penalty if he feels something was wrong. He wants to rectify the issue, because that is the in-race penalty for doing parallel pit stops. He knows that, and he's taken that now, so I imagine that would mitigate it for him. But even if it's ruled that it wasn't his fault, he's taken it anyway, and it goes to show just what the sportsman he is, really, and just why, you know, he is so well respected, because This is how you go out as a champion. You know, if you understand you've done something wrong, just voluntarily do the penalty.
Absolutely, and into the pits this time round as well comes Florian Gaia. This won't be for a penalty. This will be for a pit stop. Of course, I think that Fidoc's probably gone for the better option than Gaia has this time round, because of course it's better to get a 10-second penalty now than a 20-second or 30-second after the race. If they do, so that means that Florian Gaia might well end up coming off worse than David Fidoc. To be honest, it was quite blatant, really. They were parallel in the pits, even if there wasn't any work going on one car at that time. So I think that Fidoc has done the sensible thing here. Gaia just wants to protect his lead, really, because he knows that if he does take a penalty, he won't lead anymore afterwards. As also into the pits now come the two Waters Automotive cars of Baldy and Tyan. They don't double stack because Baldy gets out before Tyan. That's what he was supposed to do, and that's what's happened. But in terms of the Nordschulen guys, well, Gaia just wants to protect the win, really, and that's very risky, because if he does get a penalty after the race, it'll be bigger than the one he gets in race.
Well, I don't imagine if any penalty if David Friday were going to get a penalty, he's taken that 10-second stop goal. It would have to be mitigated as part of that, because he at least understands he's done something wrong and he's taken some part of the penalty there. So I imagine if he was going to get one, it would be a reduced one. But I reckon, given it's a 10-second stop goal, that probably kills it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Florian Gaia had absolutely nothing to do with the parallel parking at all, because of course Gaia, well, he was in the pits first, and if the two teammates don't have communications, if they aren't in a call at this precise or at that moment or anything like that, it would be very easy to just about misjudge it and both come in on the same lap when you don't have a big enough gap. So. And of course, Guy was the car ahead, so that would have rested with David Fidoc, as I said. Although, really, just a bit of miscommunication. It can happen to anyone.
Yeah, it can happen at times, but yeah, just keeping an eye on the affairs going around. I'm noticing Fournier and Fidoc, you know, this is technically still going for third and fourth. I mean, Jeffrey Fournier, having repeated recently, he pitted recently, like 3 laps ago. Fidoc's just done this voluntary stop goal and pitted about 3 laps ago again, while he came in before. Honestly, I think Fournier could be on for podium here for Red Arch, and if that happens, well, he would deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Fournier and Fidoc closing down. And of course, as I said before, they reckon you get a slight bit of slipstream, even 5 seconds back, and there's just 1.4 seconds separating both of them, almost exactly. So, it'll certainly be close by the end of the straight here. We'll see how close he gets. He's closed him by about 0.2 of a second there. I reckon. So as into the pits now comes Tom Parker in the other Vodbull car, who got himself up into a good points position with that stint and spins. Oh, very nearly spins it in the pits again. He certainly got very sideways. I thought he was going around again, and to be honest, if he made that mistake again, he would probably never forgive himself for that. Unfortunately, we've just lost from the race Matthew Marquardt, so unfortunately both of that team out now with Gerrit de Vries out as well. So a bad day for Green Stripes Racing in this race. But into the pits now comes Risto Capit. So Capit, we presume, going on to another set of super soft tyres. I say that when everyone comes into the pits, but that is probably going to be what happens, and indeed it has been. Safe pit stop exit for Risto Capit this time around, and after that pit stop stage, the order is Gaia, Capit, Fournier, Fidoc, Baldy, Paolini, Tyan, Zupanek, Hintz, and Eras for the top 10. Of course, the points go down to 15th, and we only have 16 cars left in the race. So that means that if you finish at this point, you're in for a very good chance of scoring points. That's why I see Super League very much as a race of attrition, and definitely consistency over outright pace in this, because if you're fast and then you crash, it doesn't mean anything. So as Ben Superneck has just been into the pits, he'll come out in about 11th place. Yeah, he'll come out in easily 11th place there. Fidok and Baldy now very close on the exit of turn 9 there. Those two were a lot further apart last time I looked at that battle. So that's come right down. Baldy on a right charge at the moment. In fact, looking at the timing sheet now, Baldy set a personal best in the on the last lap, which was over a second. It was about a second and a half faster than Fidok's best lap. So that is an incredible charge for Gergo Baldy. Now he's got stuck behind Fidok, and he'll be definitely trying to get through as quickly as he can here. Also, personal best, or best overall of the entire race for Jarl Tyan last time through as well. And Tyan is catching ever closer to the back of Dino Paolini. So those two getting very close as well. And it's all bunching up at the front of the order here. Of course, Florian Geyer is away and gone at the head of the order. But in terms of the second, third and fourth place battle, and then the 6th and 7th place battle, that's all closing up. Also, David Franchik, Liam Duval and Tom Parker are battling for 13th position down at the bottom end of the points. You don't really know where to look in a battle like this, as Parker goes to the outside of Duval down into turns 15, 16 and 17. He's going to hold it around the outside. Parker looks up and there's contact. Now that was going to be a brilliant move from Tom Parker. Unfortunately, it ends in slight contact. Although Parker has indeed got through, and actually that's really good driving there from Tom Parker, who does pull the move and gets into a position that would get Vodball one more point, as Jarl Tyan and Dino Paolini battle again, and Tyan is ahead now. So Tyan is ahead in 6th position, with Paolini being demoted to 7th for now. So it's Gaia, Capit, Fournier, Fidok, Baldy, Tyan, and Paolini. And Paolini probably won't be able to come back at Tyan in this stint, but possibly later on in the race he'll go for another attack. He just needs to stay within a sufficient proximity to Jarl Tyan, and then possibly try to launch an attack later on in the race as well. Looking for more close battles. Olsen and Duval are still quite close, although those are teammates for the Storm Racing team. Jeffrey Fournier now into the pits from 5th position. So the car with the Greek flag on the rear wing into the pits, followed by Dino Paolini, in fact. And both of these, as I say every time, will be going on to another set of Super Softs. To be honest, it's probably not that long, effectively, until we start seeing the final stint starting. We'll probably see about one more stint on the Super Soft from these guys we're looking at right now, and then we'll get probably a final stint after that from the Ultra Soft tyres. The Super Soft tends to last people about 8 laps, so that'll take them to about lap 47, and then. No, to be honest, that's not enough to do a stint on the Ultra Softs after that. So it'll probably be Super Softs from then on for the guys who have already used another tire in this race. Of course, you're given three dry tire compounds: the soft, the Super Soft, and the Ultra Soft. But you only have to use 2 of them in the race. It does mean that they will have to. Oh, Gergo Baldy's out! Gergo Baldy on fire! My goodness, down at turn 14, and his teammate Jarl Tyan passed him, and that's very bad for the Waters Automotive team. I don't know how that happened. Maybe he shifted down too many gears at once, but my goodness, Gergo Baldy bursts into flames down at turn 14, and that's dramatic in terms of the race order. He's not getting that started again with that coming out of the rear. Indeed, he's out of the race, and Baldy was running right up the front of the order for so long that is a big blow to the race, and unfortunately Gergo Baldy out of the race on lap 39, doing so well as well. I mean, he was running ahead of his teammate, possibly on course for a podium if Florian Guy's penalty dropped him far enough back. I suppose Guy would have to make another mistake for that to happen. But this does mean now that everyone that finishes the race will score a point. So it's all about finishing now, and then it'll be a point for everyone that finishes. So again, the race of attrition claiming another victim. Into the pits now comes Sergi Eras in the orange Adonis Engineering car. And out of the pits he goes on an ultra soft tyre. So possibly 2 stints until the end for Sergi Eras on the ultra soft tyres. It's lap 40 now, so it's possible. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to make 2 stints till the end anyway, even if you went onto the super soft tyre, you might as well do it on the ultra soft. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see 2 stints until the end now on the ultra soft from Sergi Eras. Also, watch the battle ahead of those. We've got Franchik, Parker, and Cooper all in a nose to tail line as they head down the back straight. And Parker is going to pull out of the slipstream here and possibly drag his way past David Franchik into the corner. He's going to have to outbrake him because he's on the outside. But if he keeps on the inside, he will have the ideal line for the exit, but Franchik will possibly get the better run. But Cooper is going to overlap with Franchik now as your time pits. So Cooper and Franchik going side by side for 11th place now, down towards turn 11. Cooper not making contact into turn 11 this time around. And look at Alex Cooper, Sergi Eras rather, trying to join in on this battle on his new set of ultra soft tyres. So this is getting very, very close now for 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th positions here. We're about 3/4 of the way through the race now. 41 laps in, 55 laps in total. To be honest, this race has really flown past as David Franchik pits from 11th place now. We're into the final quarter of a race in the entire championship now, so the championship very nearly at a close, and it saddens me to say that because it's been a very good one. This has been the season that's introduced me to the GPVWC, and I know of many other people who have just joined us this year as well, and it's been a nice one to come into, certainly. Anyway, just watching Florian Guy now as he rounds the course for the 42nd time. His gap at the moment is 26 seconds, which would put him in the lead of the race, even if he was given a 20-second penalty. Mike Pittman said that it was a 20-second penalty in the chat, although Joshua Anderson seems to think that it's 30 seconds. So just to be safe, Florian Guy needs to gain 4 more seconds to effectively keep the lead of the race. If my co-commentator was correct, I haven't checked the rule book myself, so I don't entirely know what it's like for parallel parking, what the penalty's like rather. So that does leave a lot of tension over this race. If Mike Pittman's right, then Guy wins the race if it finishes now. And if Anderson's right, then Florian Guy does not win the race. Risto Capit does. Now, wouldn't that be a result? Risto Capit from all the way back in the order as Menno Klont pits now. Menno Klont from 10th place in this race. I predict he'll come out about 13th, possibly. Is Tobias Olsen going to get past him? No, he'll come out in 10th. Olsen and... Oh, actually, slight kick of oversteer there from Olsen. Olsen is fighting with David Franchik for 13th position. Franchik has been actually getting rather close here, and in fact gets a better run out of turn 1. Not a real overtaking opportunity these S's had, and the next chicane, while it is tight and slow, not quite slow enough or have enough of a run up to be a real attacking opportunity, but if you can get a good run out of the hairpin here, which David Franchik does, then it can definitely be a real opportunity. And he's going to get in the slipstream of Tobias Olsen as they head down the back straight. He's going to pop to the inside, and really this is going to be standard from David Franchik. He's got past him before the corner, and Olsen spins it, kicks it down too many gears. You can see by the way the back end suddenly jolts out that he just kind of kicked it too many gears down, possibly shifted down 2 gears at once when he was trying to shift down 1. But always very frustrating when that happens, because there's not much you can do about it, and he's now dropped behind his teammate as well to the final position in the order in this race so far. So the 2 Racing Stripes, or the Storm Racing team rather, I don't know why I said Racing Stripes, they are just well, down the back of the order now, but they've swapped positions. Anyway, Thomas Hintz and Tom Parker have both pitted. Good luck for people called Tom to pit, and they have done indeed. Also into the pits is Sergei Eras on his super soft tyres. Actually, I don't think he'll be able to go to... No, he won't be able to go to the end of the race on another set of ultra softs. I said that he would or might be able to. It looks like I overestimated the stint length of an ultra soft tyre. In fact, I don't believe he's going to be able to go to the end even on this set of super soft tyre, because we've got 12 laps remaining, and we've seen the super softs lasting for about 9 laps at max. So it'll probably be super softs for one stint and then ultra softs to finish the race for Sergei Eras here. Also into the pits now comes David Fidok from 3rd position in this race. In he comes, and that'll be for a set of super softs. As you'll notice that Fidok always sets himself up in his pit box so that he's pointing towards the pit exit. So if he gets wheel spin out of the pits, it points him in the right direction. It's the minor details like that really make you think, yeah, this is an experienced driver. I mean, when I make a pit stop, all I'm thinking about is making a pit stop. I don't think about lining myself up for the pit exit. But David Fidok, his attention to detail is astonishing some of the time. Anyway, down the back straight we go. Actually, quite close now to Dino Paolini. So he's come out just behind Paolini on this stint, and he's been gaining a bit of time in the last few laps. Also, I believe something weird's going on with the YouTube stream at the moment, so I can only apologise about that. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be sorted out soon. Yeah, it's just been sorted out as I said that. So never mind. We do have a very good cameraman in this series, Argo Tida. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes. Anyway, less than 0.8 of a second in it now for 5th place between Dino Paolini and David Fidok. That's getting very, very close. And it might well change in the last 20% of the race here. That would be more late race drama. We've seen drama all the way through this one, and drama at the end is not unheard of, certainly. You can see the difference in lines as they head down towards turn 1 here. That's just Fidok showing himself to the mirrors of Dino Paolini's car. That's just intimidation, really. And intimidation does work surprisingly well in these cars, because if you're under pressure, you're more likely to make a mistake. And we see that happening quite often with drivers making just leaving their braking too late, then snagging the brakes and locking up down into select corners occasionally. Bruce Superneck in the pits. But onto the back straight we go now. Dino Paolini will be giving Fidok a lot of slipstream here, and Fidok is going to look to the inside as we head down towards turns 8 and 9, and that is going to be standard and textbook for David Fidok. Over before the corner, and there he goes. So 5th place now for David Fidok. And his next target will be Jarl Tyen, who of course he was ahead of earlier in this race before his penalty. Meanwhile, into the pits now comes Florian Gaia. What's happening here? That's not Gaia's pit box, is it?
I'll tell you what's happening. What Gaia's doing is taking a 10-second voluntary stop go.
Okay, so obviously believes that he'd rather take a stop go than
in the pits as well, so Gaia's still going to come out ahead.
He is. So he built up about I think it was about 26 seconds of a lead, and I was wondering whether he would keep that if he was to get a 30-second penalty at the end of the race. But to be honest, that's a very good call from Florian Gaia there, because that has completely eliminated the risk. And to be honest, I don't see why it lasted that long anyway. But he's made the call now, and he has come out still in the lead of this race, ahead of Risto Capit. And yeah, that's a very, very good call from Florian Gaia. Better to take the 10-second stop go now than lose out later in the race, or after the race rather. So,
to be honest with you, though, I mean, I think it's probably the best option. You know, get it done and just out. You know, get it completed and just don't have to worry about it. But to be honest with where Cabot is now, I feel like Vought Bull have won the constructors anyway, because you know you've got Fidek down in fifth, having already taken the thingy, and it's not going to be the necessary gap for Norwegian to win it. So I think just get it out of the way now and avoid further controversy, which I think is the right call.
Absolutely, yeah, it is a very good call, certainly. As I've said,
yeah, just kind of getting out of the way, and well, I think we can get this out of the way now because that pretty much resolved itself, so that one's done and dusted, and focus on the fact that Geoffrey Fournier is still on for a podium, ladies and gentlemen. The Frenchman is still in third, 7 seconds ahead of Jarl Tyen, 5 behind Risto Cabot, and I believe this would be his best result of the season if he got it.
I think it would be, yeah. I mean, he's just quick in everything you put him in, isn't he? I mean, single-seaters, I've seen him in touring cars, he's just unstoppable compared to the everyday likes of you and me, and quite a few quicker drivers as well. So it's about time he did show what he's capable of right up the front of a field such as Super League, and he's doing that very well at the moment. I'm just looking up now what his best result so far has been. It's been a 9th place, I tell you. So, oh no, 4th place rather. 4th place. I didn't see that he'd done another round he'd done 2 other rounds later on in the series. So that was a 4th place at Spa, which isn't a 3rd, obviously. So this would be his first podium in Super League this year. So Geoffrey Fournier on for a good one here.
Yeah, I mean, it would be sensational if he got that podium position as well, Geoffrey Fournier, because, you know, as we said so many times, he is extremely talented and he knows what he's doing. And, well, seeing him get a podium in Super League would be great indeed. And just, I wanted to have him. Go, Geoffrey!
Go, Geoffrey, indeed. Go, Geoffrey. Into the pits comes Alex Cooper. He has gone on to another set of Super Softs. To be honest, he's probably going to the end on this set. And if anyone comes in on the for the Ultra Softs after this, I can imagine that well, they might well pull it off. So if you can conserve a pair of Ultra Softs, then anytime soon would be a good time to pit, I'd say.
Yep, anytime soon, really, and well, we'll see on that. But who knows what's going to happen now? I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of this race pans out. And well, what we do know is that looking like it's going to be a Vought Bull victory in the constructors now, with Capit second, able to effectively nullify the first. You know, there's going to be 5 points in it that way. And Tom Park as current 10th place, getting him 6 points, and Fidek being 4th for 13. You know, there's only going to be about 7, 8, 9 points in it. It's not going to be nearly enough.
Now, what I didn't realise is that Geoffrey Fournier was still overdue a pit stop. He's just been in, so he's running 5th rather than 3rd, but still a very good result from Fournier. This will be his 2nd best result if it finishes like this. Although there's still time for it to change. We've still got just under 7 laps of the race remaining, and anything can happen in 7 laps. I mean, 7 laps was about the I think 7 laps was about the time it took for the for it all to go from ship-shaped to pear-shaped for the Nordschwing guys earlier in this race. In fact, that happened in basically 10 seconds. So it can all happen very, very quickly. Into the pits now comes David Franchik. He is the first person onto a set of Ultrasoft, so he will be going to try to make it to the end of the race on this pair. And I really wouldn't be surprised if he makes it. Of course, normally the Ultrasofts last only about 6 laps, and he's going to have to do 7. But if you can conserve a pair of Ultrasofts, then yeah, certainly go from here. And Franchik is giving it a go. He's got nothing to lose, really. He's down in 14th position at the moment. So, of course, he's almost at the back of the order, and as I said, he's got nothing to lose. Just try anything at this point. Everyone who finishes will score points.
I think time potentially even going. Yep, he's on the Supersoft there. If he'd gone on the Ultras at this point, I thought about going for fastest lap maybe. But we'll see what Jeffrey Fournier doing now. He's on the Supersofts, and if Jeffrey can make these tyres last till the end, he could still be on for a good 4th, and that would be it would be effectively
equal
his best result.
Yeah. In fact, I still think that Fidok, Capit and Gaia might well need another stop. Now, well, no, Fidok won't, because he pitted very recently, but Capit and... Actually, Fidok might, It'll all depend on tyre conservation at this point. Menno Klont into the pits now. He was running 9th. Klont having a good outing in the Super League here. He'll come out in about 11th place now. I don't think... Actually, it'll be about 12th, because Sergio Ares is going to get past him as well here. Gap for the lead, meanwhile, is just over 2 seconds here, but they are approaching traffic. So definitely keep an eye on the leaders. In fact, it's come down to 1.7 seconds there. So Capit took 0.4 of a second out of Gaia in that last lap there with 5 laps remaining. If that happens many more times, Capit could really challenge for the race win here. And where did Capit start? Was it... certainly wasn't very close to the top of the order, was it? It was something like 18th or 19th. So, well, definitely on for an attack here, as Gaia clears a back mucker there. That's Tobias Olsen. He's getting past there. Clears him nicely, and Risto Capit will be in prime position to get past him very shortly as well. Although Capit actually kicks out the rear end a bit there. Can't afford to do that many times more rather. If he does want to catch Florian Gaia towards the end of the race. It's come out to about 2.1 seconds of a gap now again. So that's what it was a lap ago. Realistically, it would take an error from Florian Gaia for this result to change, but with backmarker traffic being lapped, you never really know what could happen, as Capit does indeed clear Tobias Olsen very cleanly and fairly.
Yeah,
so 4 laps to go. What, sorry?
I was going to say, yeah, gets through nice and cleanly there, easily done. And, for the likes of Cap, this is just what they have to do now, and just get it to the end, to be honest. And, well, Risto has had a fantastic race this race, he really has. And, well, this is going to be the drive, I think, from the Estonian that saves the championship for Vodball. And Mike Pittman will be a very happy man indeed, and, well, be very keen to keep Risto on for 2018, I imagine.
Of course, after this, 2018 is going to be all the drivers can think about now. We spoke to Ben Horrell earlier about 2018, and a lot of drivers know what they're doing, and a lot of drivers don't. So it'll be interesting to see just how that plays out over the winter. A lot of the time, you don't know who's driving for who and who's doing what until they turn up on the grid. So Definitely some surprises to come. I can imagine. Keep your eye on the GPVWC website to keep up to date with the news and the updates.
Aha! I've just noticed something interesting. Jeffrey Fournier's last lap was a 42.8. David Fidek's last lap was a 44.8. Fournier pretty much 2 seconds on that last lap faster than Fidek. Could be catches and passes him for third.
Well, that really would be a story, wouldn't it? Jeffrey Fournier, a driver who hasn't stood on the top 7 podium yet, in fact has only done 4 races so far this season, could well... Oh, as we've had a spin for David Franchik as well, but he gets going rather nicely. Also, fastest lap last time around for Jarl Tyen, so Tyen obviously pushing for it. Now, to be honest, he doesn't really need to, because he's got a big enough gap to the car in front of him and behind him that he doesn't really need to push. I suppose he's just trying to push to capitalise on any mistakes that might happen ahead of him. He knows that he might know that the drivers ahead of him are all getting rather close. It's about 2 seconds of a gap for first and for second, and then separately for third and for fourth as well. So...
Oh, Fournier wide there while he was chasing Fidek. I think those tyres are starting to go.
That was definitely wide indeed, and tyres are definitely a talking point at this point in the race. No one wants to pit this late. They just want to try and go two laps longer, 1 lap longer, make it to the end with minimum pit stops. And well, that means that a lot of people end up crossing the line with tyres with great big holes in them, effectively.
Yeah, I mean, flat spots are just not fun, really, are they? You know, when you've got the brrrr of the vibrations on the wheel from the bit where the flat tyres more like 50 pounds a piece, it's not fun. Yeah,
you can certainly feel the flat spots on your wheel, especially if you have good force feedback. I mean, I've actually ended up with quite sore hands after some races sometimes, simply because they've been vibrating so much. Especially when you have a car with slick tyres, such as this Superleague car. I mean, you really do feel it. And every single time you lock up after picking up a flat spot, you get another, or it just widens the flat spot on the same spot, because that's the path of least resistance. That's where the car wants to lock up next, and that's where it does. And therefore, you just... Well, it just gets worse and worse until you change the set of tyres. It never gets any better, and well, it can eventually get really difficult to drive on a car like this, really. Anyway, last 2 laps of the race now. Florian Gaia and Risto Capit are the leaders. 2.1 seconds separates them. That's not going to change unless there is a mistake from Florian Gaia. We've seen weirder things in motorsports. We're not expecting anything to change, but expecting is out. Oh, there's actually less than a second separating those two now, so Fournier has really caught up to the back of David Fidek. That was about 2 seconds apart a couple of laps ago, so keep an eye on that in the last couple of laps of this race. In fact, I wonder how close he's going to get this time round as we head down to 10-11. He's probably not going to be able to actually attack David Fidek this time round, but he's certainly getting very close here. In fact, that'll be less than half a second as they go through that split. In fact, it's less than 0.2 of a second. So this is really one to watch here. And Fournier gets very crossed up coming out of the turn 14 there. Of course, in the dirty air of David Fidek's car ahead. Now Fournier can sniff his first podium, his first podium here, and he can certainly see it as well. That little bit of road 4 or 5 meters in front of him, that is a podium spot. The place where he is now isn't. All he has to do is just gain ground on a moving target, which is easier said than done, especially when that
especially
moving
when it's
target
David
is David
Fidek.
Fidek.
When it's the reigning world champion as well. Really is having a stellar race, but Fournier giving a massive jump to him here. And Jeffrey Fournier is really, really going for it, the full beans here. He wants this podium, and he wants it so much. Like, you can tell how much he's pushing for it. He really
We're
is.
on the final lap of this race. Florian Geyer is leading it from Capit, but it's the battle for third we're worried about. Here it goes into the slipstream, and will it change on this lap? This final lap of the race. It's the last chance that Jeffrey Fournier will have. He's been setting up
down the outside. Down the outside of Fidek now into the turn, and oh, he's going to squeeze it round there. And oh,
that was contact! Oh my goodness, that could have been so much worse. As Jeffrey Fournier brakes on the curb and the car snaps away from him slightly, and that might be it for third place. He's probably not going to get another chance.
Yeah,
they went side by side down into turn 8.
Yeah,
it was pretty much
like
50-50.
He's got another bit of a lap, but in and amongst all this, Florian Geyer coming on the final couple of turns now for the German. It has been a bit of an up and down race. It's been a dramatic one at times, but it doesn't matter now. It's over and done with them. Florian Geyer wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in his final race for Nordjin Racing. The Cinderella dream comes true indeed. Risto Kamek gets second, but who's going to be third? Will it be Fournier or Fidek? Fidek has the line into the last couple, but don't rule out a move from Jeffrey Fournier. It's going to go all the way. Don't hit the wall. Fournier. Yeah, we hit the wall there. That's hurt him a bit. Sergi Harris retires on the final lap as well. But it's looking like it'll be Fidek's podium, and it's going to be a 1-3 for Nordjin Racing with Jeffrey Fournier, a valiant fourth for Red Archer.
That is an unbelievable finish. I'll tell you what the gap was there. It was less than 0.2 of a second. It was about 0.13 of a second. That's incredible for third place there. The lead battle wasn't actually that far apart. It was about 2 seconds in the end, and I mean, one mistake from Geyer and that could have been all over. So that was drama till the end there as well. Also, we've still got a battle going on for 9th there between Cooper and Parker. They've just they've just gone side by side down through turns 12 and 13. It's Cooper that has the upper hand in that at the moment as they head. Oh, as Tom Meadow Clonk goes slightly wide in the background as they head underneath the famous Abu Dhabi Hotel. And now out of the final 2 corners, it's only right-handers from here on. Parker runs out on the exit, and in fact, he might come under attack from Clont. Clont's hit him. Clont's hit him, and round goes Meadow Clont. He can't lose another position because everyone else behind him has finished the race already a lap down. But that could have been so much worse there. But wow, we can finally calm down a bit. So after that race, Geyer has won it from Capit, Fidek, Fournier, Tyan, Paulini, Supernek, Hintz, Cooper, Parker, Clont, Heras, Franchik, Olsen, and Duval. Those are the point sitters. And then, of course, we had the retirements as well from Olsen, Duval, Baldy. Oh, no, not Olsen and Duval. They finished. Baldy, Marquard, De Vries, Horrell, and Galka. So, my goodness, so much contact on the final lap as well. We had... first of all, Fidek and Fournier coming together down towards turns 8 and 9, with Fournier just braking slightly on the outside curb. Then we had Fournier actually hitting the wall through turn 19, and that could have been worse as well. And then Clont and Parker came together in the final corner. So drama down to the final lap, as I was saying, might well happen. And that was the final lap of the championship as well. Who on earth? That's just an absolutely amazing way to end the championship. And who won the Constructors' Championship in the end?
I think I make it Vodball Motorsports. That second place from Capit has done enough to offset the first and the third from Fidek and Geyer. Of course, going through the actual physical points side of it, they needed 28 points more than did Nordjin than Vodball to take the championship. And well, if you do the maths, you'll find that 25 plus 16 is 41 for Nordjin Racing, and then take about 18 off for Capit, comes to about 24. So I think Vodball have clinched it by 4 points.
Incredible. 4 points in the Constructors' Championship. We used to see that from Drivers' Championships sometimes, but Constructors' Championships don't tend to be that close. That shows just how evenly matched the Nordjin and the Vodball cars are. But somehow Vodbull, despite losing another driver from the competitive order earlier in the race with Tom Parker's unfortunate mistake, Vodbull has still come home to wrap up the championship. And in Tom Parker's defence, he did finish the race in 10th position in the end, which is actually a decent point scoring position. So points for Vodbull, and that is indeed it. In fact, in further defence of Tom Parker, 10th place is 6 points, and Vodbull won the championship by 4. So if Parker had just finished 3 or 4 positions lower, or not finished at all,
actually, I didn't put Parker's points in that. They need to add 6 to win it by 10.
Oh, okay, never mind then. But anyway, still good drive from both of the Vodbull drivers to.
My foot slipped. Oh,
hello.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just about to say, I didn't realise you guys were talking in there, but we brought the Vodbull lads in either way. Tom Parker, Mike Pittman and Risto Cabot, who by 10 points, I believe, are our Constructors champions in this season. So we'll go to you, Tom, since you were talking anyway. Great job on the Constructors, and, well, an interesting way to come into 2017.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'm a bit of a prat.
Well,
yeah, qualifying, I mean, I don't know where that lap came from. It was a 10.5 up on anything I'd ever done. I lost 2 attempts in the middle sector. I could have had pole, which obviously from having not raced all year, I'm quite happy with. But then obviously my foot slipped off the clutch literally a second before the lights went out, so I got a drive-through, and then I spanned coming out of the drive-through front wing.
Yeah.
So so by lap 4, I've been in pit twice, but yeah, it was fun coming back through the field. I was saying to Mike, I enjoy those races more. I mean, yeah, okay, I missed the podium, potentially a win, unlikely, because Risto and Flo were too far ahead, but yeah, it's nice to win. It's nice to win. It's nice to have a top 10, nice to be back in the Super League, nice to be winning again with a team. And obviously, well done to Flo, well done to Firedock for a good challenge, Norton obviously, but obviously well done to Risto for a great comeback drive. And yeah, woo! Thanks obviously to Rudy as well for being our linchpin and our king and our true world's fastest gamer.
Yeah, Rudy Van Buren, of course, champion, and well, assisted the into the team's championships as well. We'll go to Risto Cabot now, who finished second in that race. What a phenomenal fight back from you, Risto. From the back of the grid, pretty much, to second. That's up there with the all-time great climbs, and of course, it ended up being crucial in you winning the Constructors.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It was really close with the title, but yes, we got it in the end. It was, yeah, a fun race. I don't know why both the Norwegians, or basically everybody ahead of me, made an extra pit stop for some penalty or something, so that's funny. But yeah, I might have still been second with normal driving, so yeah, it was fun. But in the end, with Florian ahead of me, I started driving for real, so that was very intense last laps, very nice to end the season driving fast like that. But Florian held on and drove very fast, so it was a great race, great season, very happy.
Yeah, indeed, great race indeed. And well, we'll talk to Mike Pittman as well, because we have him here with us as well. Mike, congratulations, first time Vodbull won the Constructors, and you must be a very happy man. I mean, to have won it by 10 points as well. Of course, to our championships, the close the championship's been.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, the guys deserve it anyway. I mean, you look, it's only my fault that they haven't won it 4 or 5 races ago, realistically. But yeah, Tom came in and did some great times today as well. I know he's very critical of himself with a few errors there. We've kind of just a few. We had some fun, didn't we, Tom, on this one? Bring back Rudy to engineer G's. But Risto did us proud though, as always, with that from the back to do it single-handedly. And yeah, I feel a bit, it was a bit of a shame really that it was just like we seemed to make mistakes, Nordstrom made mistakes, no one wanted to win the title, it appeared. But to actually, regardless of that, to sit at the end of the season and go, we've won the team's title is fantastic. And considering how close we've had in previous years and issues before, it's nice to have our time, I think.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't know if Josh Jones has any questions for you.
You've caught me off guard a bit there. Sorry, I was a bit distracted by some YouTube comments there. Everyone saying what a fantastic championship finale it was, and what a great drive the Vodbull Racing team made. All of you. I mean, all season, not just here. both cars in the points here today. I mean, unstoppable.
I just want to say big well done to Norjan as well for the fight and Florian for the win. You know, it was, to be honest, if they hadn't had their pit stop thing, they probably would have had the 1-2. Although Risto might have challenged anyway. You know, it's been a great battle for everybody that's helped us. Tom, not just for today, for all your testing, mate. You've helped us build the car and do absolutely everything. Risto, you know, not only your drives but the testing, and Rudy, although he's busy driving Le Mans at the moment, will also be very pleased, and absolutely fantastic by everybody and the whole GPVWC as well, and you guys for broadcasts. It's just been a fantastic season, and we can't wait for next year.
Yeah, it's going to be a brilliant one. Thank you very much for joining us, Team Vodball. Mike Pittman, Tom Parker, and, of course, the one and only Risto Kappa joining us here this time in the broadcast. Thank you all.
Thanks, babe.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I think it's time we brought up our runners-up in more than one sense now, as we now talk to both David Feidick and Florian Gaia in the commentary booth. We'll start with you first, David. Great race from you. You had a good start, a couple of problems near the middle, but still good way to go out.
No, it wasn't, Josh.
Well, anything but the win wouldn't have been good for you, would it?
Well, first of all, well done to Mike, Rudy, Tom, and Risto on the season and getting both titles, much deserved. Did well all season, so yeah, deserved everything. I don't know if I said it before in broadcast, but I've been having problems with PC crashing to desktop. I put it on Discord as well and asked for help. And I thought I fixed it this week, but in warm-up, it went to desktop, and the only way I could solve that was go to window mode, and then, oh my days, it was just FPS galore, man. It was just laggy in the last sector, and losing 6/10 a lap easily, and I didn't know what to do. So it's just, at the start, being cautious not to hit no one because of the lag, and then once I was on my own, I was gaining on Florian and Jarl. Tom had his problems, but then
I wouldn't call it problems, mate. I was absolutely
Tom was a bit worse. But yeah, I got to we both pitted the same lap, and I didn't know this new rule came in. It was oh my day. I did it all the time in CSG, so me and Flo pitted we pitted at the same time, went out, and then Chris whispered me, and it was oh crap. So he was talking through David and our spotter, and said either 30 seconds at the end or take a self stop and go. So we decided it's faster to take the stop and go, and just had pick my way off the rest till the end and managed to get P3. So I just got to say to Florian, this has been 3 amazing years. Tom will know what I'm talking about. He's one of the hardest working teammates you could ever ask for. Such a kind, genuine guy, and so quick. And we're going to miss him at Nords, so wish him all the best in the future. Hope they have a slow car, but yeah, been a pleasure racing with you, Flo.
Yeah, to come to Florian Gaia, of course. Last race with Nords in racing, and to go out with a win is just, it's the dream come true, isn't it? Really, it's just exactly what you would have wanted going out.
Hello. What else can I say? We had a pretty hard task at hand tonight, and we were pretty confident about our pace and everything, and wanted to just go out on a high and get a double win for the team on my last race as well. Qualifying went somewhat okay. The lap wasn't too good, but obviously it was enough for power for some reason. But yeah, then the race start, I lost out to Yar, but I just knew I had to pass him, and it was necessary for us to get into contention in the first place. So I didn't really care for him to get me there. From then on, I just drove as fast as I could every lap, and obviously we made a slight error on the pit stops with double stacking, but we served penalties for that. So I still got the win in the end. I tried to save my tires and just control the gap to Risto, which luckily worked. But yeah, in the end, I go out with a win from the team my heart beats for, and yeah, I had amazing 56 or 57 Grand Prix for the team, and worked with the three best guys in the business. Like, you know, they're like brothers to me. So it's yeah, a bit sad ending today. Yeah. I don't know else. What
that says it all, really, doesn't it? Just you get the win that you wanted, and ultimately you've come out as a race winner, leaving Norwegian Racing. But that doesn't mean, you know, leaving anything less than the impression you've made today. Just proving that you can stick it with the best of them you've won before this season. But this one surely means the most out of all the wins in 2017. And David, just to go back to you, of course, we don't know what you're doing for 2018 either. But if you were going to stay at Norwegian, whoever comes in to replace Florian has got some seriously big boots to fill.
Well, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but yeah, I'll be staying at Norwegian. I don't think that's a surprise. Yeah, big boots to fill with Florian. Yeah, not just because of pace, but the amount of work he puts into the team. Like I said before, through testing, searching data, searching for setups. You know, he does like 2 hours a day, so you can't complain about the work he puts into the team. So. I know the teammate for next year, so I know he's quick. I just hope he works as hard.
Well, we know he's a he. Thank you, David Feidick.
Yeah, well.
There's some exclusive information for you.
Go and get a tombola with all the names in and pick one out.
Yeah, it could be me for all we know.
But yeah, finally, sorry. Just to do a final word, congrats. Thanks to all the admin staff, Chris for running the servers, the commentary team all year, Will for giving us a good car to fight with, and DJ for being our radio man all season. Yeah, so yeah, cool.
Yeah. I also like to thank the admins and everyone that made the broadcasts possible this year. And yeah, just like Dave said, our radio man DJ, he obviously helped us a lot over the races, and a lot of thanks to him. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's been a pleasure to have you guys here, and well, really has been a good, you know, season for you. It's been up and it's been down, but it's finally come to an end, and now you finally get some respite. Thank you very much, David Feidick and Florian Guy, for joining us in the comedy box, and good luck for 2018, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Right, on to the next interview, and I believe it's going to be a certain Dutchman. Yep, that's right. We're bringing into the interview box none other than Menno Klont, who came in today for Kernow Sports. Menno, thanks for joining us, and we saw that last little dive at the end of the race there.
Yeah, well, it was a really amazing race. Well, today I heard that it was the last race of Kernow, and I was really a bit, not upset, but it was, yeah, it was not good to hear, because I was a reserve there for 1 year, at least 2014. And then I heard they needed a race driver, and yeah, I thought like I might can end it with them, and yeah, I did pretty well. The car was amazing, actually very good, and I wish I would have tested more. Strategy was good, not even lapped. I'm really impressed with, well, a little bit with myself, but with the car was amazing out of the corners, accelerating. Wow. It was really amazing. Strategy was quite good, and yeah, I'm quite happy that I not only got finished in P11, but we jumped Street Fighter, and that is a bit of a farewell gift to Mark Wicks and Kernow. Actually, it's icing on the cake, like Mark Wicks said it to me earlier. So yeah, I'm really happy. And about the last lap dive, yeah, I was in 11th already. Everybody behind was already finished, and I thought I would go for it. But like Tom Parker, my ultras were really done, and I believe his softs were done. So I needed to try it, and in the end it didn't work. But yeah, it was a bit of a calculated risk actually. So yeah.
Yeah, of course, it has been great to see in these Super League cars, Menno, and well, wonder what we'll see you doing in 2018 then.
Well, 2018 album will be revealed soon. I will be driving somewhere, and yeah, I'm getting a new challenge, and you can interpret it like you want. But yeah, I will do something fun, and with a team I'm really liking. So yeah, we shall see what it will bring in 2018. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, great to hear. And I think Josh Jones has a question for you as well.
Well, it was when you were talking to Menno, actually. I was just going to say, we've seen you doing the other Career Ladder series at the same track as well. Was that in preparation for this? And if so, how do you think it helped you?
Oh no, not actually. I was just focusing enough on FC. That was my main goal. I changed some force feedback settings last week, and I had the feeling was so much better. Then I was like, wow, this is really better. And then I won FC. It was really good. Then I already decided with Jason Muscat to help him in order to get P2 with Malta Force, because I drove 2.5 years in Supercup for Malta Force. So yesterday we got P2 in the constructors for Malta Force. It's very important for me and also for Jason. And yeah, then I didn't want to drive Super League today, but yeah, when I saw that, I wanted to do it. I wanted to give Colonel something back, what they gave to me in 2014, because they signed me as a reserve when I was not that well known, and yeah, I have a big respect. So just coming on my way, and yeah, with primary contracts, I could just do it because I'm not driving FC anymore, so I could get a Supercup primary, and when that was done, we deleted that. I mean, I had a Super League primary, and I paid all the licenses, so I could do it. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, great stuff indeed. And wherever you end up in 2018, we're hoping that it will be an interesting one for you. And well, thank you very much for joining us, Menno. Yeah. And well, good luck to you in whatever you do in the 2018 Super League or Super Cup or Formula Challenge or Pro Cup or Amateur Cup or World Snooker Championship even.
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe. We are going to have a GPVWC World Snooker Championship confirmed.
Oh, yeah. Now you know it. Oh, sorry. I couldn't say. Now you know it.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, Menno.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Right, and I think it's time to have a catch up with the Red Archer duo now, as we bring a certain couple of people into the commentary box. First of all, we'll start with Mr. G'day himself, Thomas Hins. Great to have you with us, Tom, and decent race from your standards.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm really tired. I'm just utterly wrecked after that. Yeah, no, it was intense. Wore this jumper that I really shouldn't have at the end. I was kind of sitting going, why did you wear a jumper? That was not smart. But anyway, yeah, no, it was an interesting start. You know, it was a pretty intense kind of first probably quarter of the race in the traffic there. You know, it was just trying to keep alive essentially in that first quarter, just trying to stay out of trouble and get the strategy going. And from there, just got some clean air. Was able to pump in the usual style I do, just keep consistent and get the tyres through. And through strategy, started picking my way up into the top 10. And yeah, I was on for 7th actually, and then I had a little spin at the second chicane that dropped me behind Bensi, which is a little bit frustrating, but no damage or anything, just dropped 1 spot, so brought it home in 8th. So a little bit annoying that had that little spin that dropped me of 7th, but all my own fault there. But 8th spot I'll still take it, especially from 15th, I think it was, or no, 12th or whatever it was on the grid. I'll definitely take the 8th spot. Good to finish, in a solid top 10 position there. And also now top 10 in the drivers, I think, which is also nice considering I missed a good chunk of the season, so I'll take that as well. And we got Mad Cape, which is the best thing, as we nab Mad Cape right at the end, which is fantastic. So yeah, big kudos to Jeffrey and everybody, Nikos especially, absolute superstar, and just everyone in the Red Archer team this season. They've all been just amazing, and it's thoroughly deserved, especially for Nikos, I think, to get this result at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who pretty much missed half the season as well, he could have been up in the hundreds there. He could have been challenging for the top 6 in the championship. I mean, you've really shown your credentials this season, just how good you are.
Oh, thanks, Josh. Yeah, I think I've done all right. I still don't think open wheels are really my forte. I'm a bit more versed in better in tin tops, I think, than open wheelers. So I think I've already, in this kind of series, it kind of got up against me in that regard, because I'm just not, I don't think I'm quite as good in open wheelers as other sort of tin top cars, especially GTs, that kind of thing. But no, yeah, it's been really good to sort of show what I've got, I suppose, especially, as I said, that consistency that I know I've got, that I can just pump in decent laps and keep the tyres alive, is really handy for a series like Super League. And you know, that's why I love doing it, because I can just show that sort of side of me, which works better for this and endurance than sprint stuff. So no, it's been, as I said, been a lot of fun, and Nikos and all the guys at Rfactor have been really awesome to have along for the ride, and they made it all, you know, so much more, well, really enjoyable, even more so than, you know, if it was without them. So no, it's been really good fun, enjoyed it a lot, and if time permits and if I'm able to, because, you know, time zones, but if I can, I think I'll definitely be up again next season, but kind of all depend on where I am come next season. But if I can do it, I'll certainly be very keen to do it again next year.
Yeah, of course. And well, Jeffrey Fournier, you've matched your best result in Super League, and a great result for me. Only done 5 races this season, but 11th, 9th, 11th, 4th, and 4th. Again, really showing potential.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's second time I'm fighting for last podium place with David Fidok. As on Spa race, it was also with Fidok. I was fighting for podium, but yeah, we'll try to get the podium next time. Still a very good race, considering I was starting from the back. And yeah, thank you to Nikos for the whole help and for letting me discover the Super League.
Yeah, it's great. We're great to have you here, Jeffrey. You've really made the league all the better for it. And well, Tom, it's always a brightness to the broadcast when we get to speak to you two as well. And just for both of you, just note, check is in the post for next year.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about just trying to get you on side for 2018.
Well, yeah, I know about Jeffrey. I know I'm, as I said, you know, it'll depend on time permitting and
time
schedules,
zones.
And so yeah, time zones pretty much. But as I said, if I can do it, I'll certainly be keen to do it again. But that's all going to depend on that. But at the moment, it's free. But it just depends if anything changes, basically, because, you know, life and all its twists and turns, you never know. But yeah, I'd definitely be keen to go again next year if I'm around.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that pretty much sums it up already, doesn't it? And well, thank you very much, Thomasons, Jeffrey Fournier, for joining us in the comments box once again. And good luck with 2018.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
And that, sadly, is that. We've come to the end of the broadcast. Not just the end of the broadcast, the end of the Super League season. That is it for us, with the exception of the Young Drivers Test in about 6 days' time. That's it, done, and the only event left to go, apart from that, is the Brazilian Touring Cup and the ITC Championship. So we've come to the end of the GPVWC season, effectively, and it is a shame, isn't it, Josh Jones, that this is where we sign off?
Certainly. Well, it won't be the last from me, of course, because I will probably be doing the ITC. But for the Super League, yeah, definitely a shame to see it go. I mean, it's been great. As I said, I only joined this series late, so I didn't even see the entire series. But from what I saw, it was fantastic. And well, we did have a champion running away with it. It couldn't have been a more deserving champion than Rudy Van Buren, who, of course, is doing the world's fastest gamer, and we wish him luck in that. So, yeah, I'm going to have to say, great race. Excitement all the way through. Drama is the word that kept popping up. And, well, I'm looking forward to next season, really.
Yeah, next season's going to be brilliant by the looks of it, you know, and just, it's been a pleasure being back commentating on Super League once more, and it really has just been a phenomenal race to round out the season, and we're hoping that you'll join us next year as well for the next edition of the GPVWC Super League in 2018, when the cars will be even better than ever before. But just on behalf of everybody here at GPVWC, from myself, Elise Skinner, Josh Jones, Jake Sanson, and myself, Josh Anderson, all the commentators, all the admins, and all the drivers and teams, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this journey here in the GPVWC. And we will see you next year when Super League comes back. But until 2018, I've been Josh Anderson, he's been Joshua Jones, and once again, from everybody at the GPVWC, we wish you the very best for this year, and we look forward to seeing you once again when Super League comes back in 2018.